All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Oh, hopefully you guys had a fantastic evening and a fantastic night's rest. Yeah. Morning, good old school gaming. Good morning, Grom Nash. Good morning, Benny. Good morning, Abysmal. Yeah. Yeah, so Chinese ones breathe, but it's usually associated with water, funnily enough. No, we should be on. Hang on. Where's Did I do the thing again? I swear I changed the dashboard over. I'd be fucking annoyed if I didn't. Yeah, Hanging with the Dragon. It's on. Alright, good. Good, good, good. Oh. Morning, Geiger. Morning, metaphorical. Metamorphical. Blech, metaphorical. Morning, Threadnut. Oh, my goodness sakes. Yeah, exactly. That's why they're more lightning and water focused in Asian mythologies. Yeah, no, we should it should all be good to go. So yeah, chat today. Basically, we're just gonna hang out and chat and have a good time and just shoot the shit and see what happens. Basically. Oh, I might switch over and do some final nights maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Man, for the most part, that's just all today is just gonna be relaxing and talking and just vibing as you do. Ugh. Threadnought always so rude. Always so rude. So I actually started talking to Bull, Raging Bull, the VTuber, I don't want to call him CEO, owner and operator, I guess. The VTuber, like, network owner and operator. We were talking about Hunter the Parenting. Oh my god. Remember the Nosferatu whose fiance didn't leave her? The Nosferatu in my party is trying to get our Tremere to dominate her man into hanging himself and leaving a note blaming her. Oh my god. Yeah, it sounds like Nosferatu. Oh god, that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. You're off to get some lunch? Alright, take care. Oh my god. Wild. Oh. The Lottie 20mm anti-tank rifle. Curious on it, but that'll be for another time. Seems like he's outvoted 4-1 though. Oh boy. Yeah, but he's going to be the one in the parties they're going to need to keep an eye on. Nosferatu on Nosferatu violence be like, how dare you be happy? Or, Nosferatu, did I catch you having fun? Yeah, basically. Hey, Pip Pip. Fucking hell, hold on. Oh my goodness sakes. Oh. Yeah, so I found on the World of Darkness server, I found where you can buy a Tommy gun. Unfortunately, it's not street legal, which makes me incredibly sad. Because if it was street legal, I would absolutely use it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to buy silver and incendiary for the hunting rifle instead. That's what we're going to do. Good thing to come from Ubisoft going under is that we won't have to deal with the shitty launcher anymore. Yep. I like the copium from Shill Media, though. Like, it's on trajectory for 6 million players. Okay, one, on trajectory does not mean it's there, and two, 6 million players, that's not sales. I'm also questioning how you got those numbers. Because you look at Steam, its Steam launch was abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. We've got an Nosferatu, Malkavian, Tremere, and 2 Bruja, or RPing adopted siblings. The Bruja would be the ones I'd be the most worried about. Yeah, your party balance is kind of cooked. Yeah, that's the same exact cope they use with Starfield. Same exact cope. Oh my god. Just checking everything. But yeah, chat. We just had ourselves a good old time. Next Gits Marathon. I'm not skipping out after episode 13 to DM. Group watching made it all the way to episode 10 before a proper break for season 1. Wow, I missed the mute key. My apologies. Um, the context is we're talking about how bad Assassin's Creed Shadows is done, where they're trying to put out puff pieces and fluff articles like, "Oh, it's on trajectory for 6 million players." Like, on trajectory means it's not there, and also 6 million players is bad. But the next part is that's players, not sales. Oh, that was a nice one. Damn. Oh, that was a nice finger crack. Dude, the fucking return to form in every single Shill Media review. Yep. Yeah. Again, the Steam launch kind of proves it was terrible. Oh my god. Oh, chat. What a fucking rough one. So yeah, we in more Cross might be the fucking fledgling for San Francisco news. We got word from our contacts that the Jazz Club had put out a hit on Delta. Delta is another Gauru who's part of the Children of Gaia. So the Jazz Club has paid for a contract killing of Delta, and they paid the Black Spiral dancers to do it. Okay? So, the Black Spiral dancers we know are going to attack the pantry. So we start gathering everybody up at the pantry, and one of the leaders of the Glasswalkers comes in and is like, okay, so who's in charge? And nobody says anything, right? Cross is standing there silently. He's standing there silently. Nicola's standing there silently. Everybody's silent, right? And then Nicola finally speaks up and says, well, it should probably be the eldest should be in charge, right? And Liam goes, oh, very well. All right, Cross, you're in charge. And Cross just stood there like, what? 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 What do you mean I'm in charge? It's like Cross doesn't even have a rank. What? Because of the Concord of Luna, he can't be part of the Sept. He doesn't even have a rank. He just exists. So, my initial strategy for fighting the Black Spiral Dancers, because we know they're coming, was to put all of our melee guys, take all of our melee guys and put them downstairs at the choke point, right? So I took all of our Alrunes and Galliards and everything, and I was like, all right, you're going to stay down here, downstairs. Everyone else, the way that the homeless food pantry is set up is that it's a big, long building that is a big, open dining area with no cover, all the way from the kitchen all the way to the front door. It's a really long walk, okay? So I was like, what we're going to do is I want none of our melee guys, I don't want nobody that's going to go Krynos form or anything to be up in the dining room. Okay? One, it also helps veil breaches, right? We don't want them breaching the veil constantly. But two, I put all of our guys with long guns in the kitchen. So when the Black Spiral Dancers kick in the front door, we were going to let them come into range, and we were all going to open up with the long guns. So that's the plan that's going forward. That's the initial plan, right? You want it to be a little bit loose. You don't want to be too strict. But the reason I didn't want a bunch of people upstairs is because, well, instead of being a free fire fatal funnel, it turns into a, oh god, we need to pick and choose our targets, right? Well, it just so happens that a bunch of people got tired of waiting downstairs, and they came upstairs the moment before the Black Spiral Dancers attacked the pantry. It was an absolute clusterfuck. It was an absolute clusterfuck. And the reason why I didn't want any of them up there, not only because it takes it from a fatal funnel into now all of our guys with the long guns have to pick and choose their targets, which is a pain in the ass when you see, okay, when there is a room filled with 15 different Krynos forms, which one of those are dancers? which one of them are the black spiral dancers you can actually shoot? Because our long guns all had silver. Like, I made sure I gave out silver and everything. Our long guns had silver. We were going to ruin some fucking days. So because it turned into a massive, mosh pit, I had to walk out from behind the kitchen counters, and I'm walking in the room, like with my rifle up, checking each person, like spiral dancer, nope, that's one of ours. Nope, that's one of ours. Guy takes a swipe at me, I jump back, I put 10 rounds into him, and again it's silver, so I drop one Krynos. It's like, okay, one spiral dancer down. Another spiral dancer jumps at me and tries to get my gun away. I put 10 in him and put him down. It's like, okay, another dancer down. Oh my god. A bunch of our Krynoses are beating up on Gaians instead of beating up on dancers because it's that much of a clusterfuck. But in the end, multiple dancers dead. We recovered all the Gaians and we were patching them up. I pulled them into the back room. I was like, all right, get every single wounded out of the front room, put them in the back room, start using the surgery kits and everything I had bought and stuff, get them all fixed up, get them back in on their feet. At the same time, the police show up and they're like, what in the fuck happened? What happened? There are multiple dead officers in the brawl as well, because they came in, they opened the pantry doors, and they experienced the delirium. So they got basically like vacuumed into the fucking suck. So now there are multiple dead officers. There's a couple officers that are alive that were fighting on our side that are just like, still loopy from the delirium. So they're trying to talk to the chief, and they're just like, I shoot good. I shoot the fuck at there were so many bears. It's like, oh god. Oh god. Oh. And there is not a single square inch of the food pantry that is not caked in blood, guts, and viscera. There was gore everywhere. Hang on a second. Hang on. There is pictures. There are pictures of the aftermath. I gotta go find the pictures. Oh my god. Oh. Oh yeah. Also, so this one isn't like at the very end of it. This is him already starting cleaning. So we have a guy that we work with. He's a guy that crosses interrogated to ensure he's not a fuck up. But this is a guy we worked with before. His name is Milton. He is a janitor that we call for cleanups, and he came in. He came through the front door, and he's like, what the fuck happened? So here you go. This right here, this is Milton. my god. This is after we removed multiple bodies, by the way. This is after. This is after we pulled like 7 bodies out of this room. Oh my god, it was fucking bloody. Yeah, so here's Cross. Here I am right here. Oh. Dude, it was a fucking wild fucking chaos clusterfuck. Oh man. Remember, like I said, this is after he's already started cleaning. He had to clean, so he started here. He cleaned his way down and around. So he cleaned up this whole, like, this swath here. And he's just like, how in the fuck? Oh my god. You can see what I mean, right? Because again, the kitchen is still over here. This table, there's still a gap here, and then the kitchen starts here. So this is a lot of real estate you have to cover. If you come in through the doors, you have to get all the way from the doors all the way across and get to us in the kitchen, which is where all the guns were. But yeah, no, it turned into the timing couldn't have been more perfect for the Alrune and the Galliards to get frustrated downstairs and be like, I don't think they're coming downstairs, and they come upstairs right before the Black Spirals kick in the front door. Oh my god. It's fucking wild. Oh, it was a fun fight though. It was a fun fight. Again, it worked out in our favor. It was a total Gaian victory. But holy shit. Fucking blood, guts and stuff everywhere. A couple Gaians got killed by other Gaians because we couldn't tell who was who. I made sure, though, I only shot Black Spiral Dancers. That's why I had to walk out from around the counter. I walk out from around the counter and come in to get in the melee brawl with the rifle, because the rifle's got silver in it, right? I'm basically gonna fuck up anybody that I hit with it. So I'm sitting here walking the middle, and there's 15 different Krenoses just all fighting and slashing each other, grabbing each other and throwing them against the wall and stuff. And it's like, oh shit. So I just waited. Once people took swipes at me, I shot them instead. I was like, okay, I'm Hamid. Everybody could tell who I am. Nobody could tell each Krenos apart. It's basically turning into a chaos fest. But people could tell who the Hamids are. So I stayed in my Hamid form. And each time somebody slashed at me and I dove backwards, I would shoot multiple rounds into them. Be like, yep, you okay? So you're a dancer. Oh, yep, you're a dancer. Oh my god. What fucking man? Oh, he's them. Okay, no, that's not Mower. I forgot. Mower survived. Andrew Mower was one of the police officers because we contacted him. Mower showed up with his partner. So Mower shows up in EOD bomb gear, okay? He shows up looking like Dor from Hunter the Parenting. And he's got an automatic shotgun loaded and ready to go. And so does his partner. And they're both like, yeah. Benny, you can do it if you want. Oh, man, it was a fun fight, though. It was a fun fight. Cross has finally been killed once on the server, too. There was a vampire being a shitter. There was a vampire known as Panic on the server, and he's a bit of a scumbag shithead. Yeah, he used multiple disciplines in the street and everything, and just went wild. And I was like, ah. I hate it because we tried to get the admins involved in it, and they're just like, well, we can't really do anything. It's like he's using Prescience 5 and Potence 5 in the middle of the street. He killed multiple people, and they're like, no, we can't really do anything about it. It's like, motherfucker, seriously. We get yelled at all the time, but the vampires can do what they want. All right, that's fine. Oh God. All right, so let's go up and do this. Yeah, experience outranks everything. Apparently so. Yeah, he forcefully stripped somebody, which is again how the brawl started. He looked at one of the guy in werewolves and told them undress yourself now, and forced them to pop out of everything. And the guy in werewolf looked down at their clothes and came up and slugged him in the face for good reason. So yeah. Thoughts on post Boxer pre People's Republic of China. If Sun Yat sen hadn't stepped down, if he hadn't actually been like he was morally and lawfully stupid. Okay? He was a genuinely good man who fucked up real bad. If he had actually stayed as leadership instead of giving leadership over but to the first person who got the empress to what's it called, abdicate. If he hadn't done that, we probably would have a very different China now. A very different China. Now, am I saying that his governance would have been great? No, we don't know all that much because it happened so quick. Again, he should have just taken charge. Malkavian was a weird conspiracy nut, and our Nosferatu was a red pill podcaster. Our Tremere is the only one who wasn't a scroller who went full retread in the lockdowns. She was a police officer on a power trip. Oh my god. Dude, that's no. You just get rid of the 20th century. Just put China is a complete shit show, and you'll have almost all of Chinese history covered. Oh my goodness sakes. That is still one of my favorite fucking like. That's still one of my favorite overly simplified video. Time to check in on my good friend Chuck. Whoa! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, it was just a fucking shit show all around. Speaking of... You look like a fucking Fed. Only Feds wear floral jackets. Ain't that the fucking truth? Holy shit. Oh. Oh yeah, here we... fucking Quay Jin moment. Oh yeah, that's when a wizard showed up. Alright, so, hang on, here's a couple more. Here's a couple more fucking funny moments. One, just the perfect timing of this screenshot alone. You don't even need any other words. This screenshot's timing is perfection. Oh my god. Oh. Quay Jin moment. A screenshot literally taken right as the server is shifting over. Right as the server is changing rounds. This poor EMT was just about to get fucked by two different fireballs at once. Those are fireballs right about to hit him in the face. From two different directions. Quay Jin moment. Oh, and then here, so the shop, okay, the tech shop in San Francisco is called the Night Wolf Electronics 24/7. Okay? Night Wolf. It's totally not a Glasswalker front, I swear. It's only obviously a Glasswalker front, I swear. But in the middle of the tech shop, a wizard suddenly appeared. An actual ascended mage appeared inside the tech shop. And his very first decree while in the tech shop for the poor Glasswalkers that were working the tech shop. Oh my god. Boy, fetch me some crack. Fetch me some crack. Oh my god. Poor fucking Glasswalkers. Oh, the poor Glasswalkers. The fabled crack wizard. Dude, he gave us an offer too. We could utilize his services to help with things. We just had to give him stuff. And the likely thing was we were going to give him a shit ton of crack. Oh my god. Boy, fetch me some crack. Oh my god. Dude, I made a joke. I made a joke that every single sunrise, all of the Black Spiral dancers and all the Gaians get together and they all go to Waffle House for breakfast. while the shit heel fucking leeches are all asleep, all of the all of the Gauru are just sitting there like intermixed and just sitting there at Waffle House like, just give me some fucking breakfast, please. Just give me some fucking breakfast. I've actually seen a daywalker though on the server. So one of the, of course, is a Malkavian. One of the Malkavians on the server can actually walk in sunlight now. They have max humanity, so they can actually resist the sun and don't get killed by it, and they don't suffer day sleep. But yeah, she she's a wild one too. Like, she personally keeps coming up to Cross and keeps talking to him over and over again. And Cross basically at this point like, it seems it's my lot in life to decipher your random fucking bullshit to see if there's any nuggets of wisdom in it. But she has helped Cross, she has helped Cross dispose of multiple dancer bodies, because Cross has a pretty decent dancer kill count right now. Granted, Cross is also trying to break one of the dancers too and get him to stop dancing the spiral. We'll see how that goes. One second. The coughing fits are real, chat. Holy shit. Coughing fits are real. A menace to society, this one. Oh, yeah. Let's see, are there any more fun ones we could do? Oh, here's Mia just being Mia, as per usual. Holy shit, that's the police station? That's what happened to the police station? Fucking hell. Okay. I'll need to explain this one. I'll definitely need to explain that one. Holy shit. Because I wasn't there for the police station thing. We were occupied. Alright, so, back to this. Okay. So, this first screenshot I'll show is Mia. At the end round, it's called EORG, end of round grief, because it's no longer canon. Once the dawn rises and everything like that, it's like, okay, canon's done for. We've now locked in what is canon for the next round, right? You've saved everything. So this is what Mia likes to do on when it's end of round grief. walks up to the fucking, walks up to the tower itself, kicks in the front door. Pizza delivery. Oh, poor, poor fucking Milton. Poor fucking Milton. Holy shit. Okay, so I need to explain the next one before you see it. Okay? So, Andrew Mower is a police officer, right? He is a basically veteran sergeant. So he's been around. The chief trusts him intimately and everything. Like he's a good lad. Andrew Mower gets horribly murdered early in the round by a Zemitzi that turns his body into a fucking... I joke and said that he turned his body into a toilet seat. But yeah. So basically gets his body meat puppeted into something else. While he is in limbo, he gets summoned by a different party and now is a tangible, actual, real ghost. This different party, realizing it's Mower, comes over, sticks him in a fridge, drags the fridge all the way to the pond where Cross is, and like, hey, Cross, you can deal with this. Open the fridge, and fucking Mower comes out as a ghost. And I'm just looking at him like, what? What the what? Mower's like, I'm fucking dead! Ah! So, that starts a whole shenanigan chain where where we got together with like I called in Atka, who is the leader of the Wendigos. I call Atka in, and I'm like, Atka, you're gonna need a theurge for this. And he's like, I'll come by the watchtower and see what's up. He comes by the watchtower. He comes up the hill. He looks and sees Mower, who's like, boo, how's it going? Atka immediately does a 180 and goes, yeah, I need to go get a theurge. So Atka leaves. I'm sitting here having to deal with Mower the whole time. Atka goes and gets the theurge. We get a bunch of people together. We go into the Umbra. And we perform a ritual to put Andrew Mower in a fucking sword. So now Andrew Mower's spirit has been bound to a sword. Now, the reason I'm telling you all this, I am not related to this next picture. This is why I'm telling you this. We were occupied. Right? We were doing rites and rituals to bind his spirit into a sword so that from beyond the grave, Mower could get revenge on the fucking Zemitzi asshole that killed him. In the meanwhile, the National Guard got called in to San Francisco because people were being stupid. Okay? We are talking, they had such a bad breach, such a bad masquerade breach, that they actually called in the National Guard to deal with everything. So, the National Guard shows up. They have orders to hold position until further orders. But the National Guard isn't doing that. Instead, the National Guard is talking on their radios how they're going to go raid the tech shop, which is where the Glasswalker cairn is. Unfortunately for them, the Glasswalkers heard that they're raiding the tech shop, and they're going to, quote-unquote, kill all the doggies. Now, first off, the fucking Glasswalkers like, how do they know? But secondly, fuck these guys. And this is before Glasswalker leadership is there. Glasswalker leadership is out and about in the town trying to figure out what the fuck is going on because they just see people getting mowed down in the streets and they're like, what the shit is happening? Liam, who is one of the leaders of the Glasswalkers, comes back to the tech shop and realizes there are no Glasswalkers in the tech shop. because all the glasswalkers went to where the National Guard were holed up, which is the police station. This is Liam, by the way. What the? Do you mind? We're having a day. Oh my god. What the fuck? So yeah, the glasswalkers went full fucking scorched earth. Now the admins weren't happy. They're like, "Oh, how dare you attack a place with CCTV and everything?" And it's like, bro, they're glasswalkers. They'll deal with the camera footage. They went full Krynos. They went through and they fucking murderized every single person they could find. Every single person they could find. I just love this screenshot so much. Do you mind? We're having a day. it's not, things aren't going well. Meanwhile, hang on. Meanwhile, a bunch of us in the Umbra are doing this. This is what we're up to. So, this is Cross. This one's Cross. This one's Marion. This is Atka. This is Salona. This is Anthony. This is Cassidy. And here is Mower in the middle being transferred into this sword. So we're all doing this. We have no concept of what's going on outside of the Umbra. Like we're hanging out with the spirit wilds and everything and having a good time. Meanwhile, shit's going down. Meanwhile, shit has gone sideways. Oh, God. Oh, here's the dancer. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This one. This is so fucking good. Hold on. This was me. So, this is Meryl. This is the Malkavian who hangs around Cross a lot now. Cross was having conversations about like Gauru society and things like that, because Meryl knows. Meryl is a knower, but Meryl is also like max humanity vampire you can possibly get. And Meryl has helped us out multiple times, right? So she's one of those, like, we could tolerate Meryl. to a lesser extent, depending on how much you could tolerate the fucking inane babble she says. So I'm talking about some Gauru stuff with a kinfolk and everything, and I'm talking about how Cross is really interested in Astrid and everything. she just pipes up. You make a mess in front of me, I get to report you both to Gaia personally. God damn it. God damn it, Meryl, stop it. Just fucking stop it. This is, by the way, there's a reason there's blood here. This is right after we killed a black spiral dancer. We murderized the shit out of a spiral dancer. Holy fuck. Oh. Oh, man, oh, man. Oh, shit. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. Do, do not the wolf. What is wrong with these women? Oh my god. Oh my god. So fucking good. Seth, you mentioned never seeing a chat music before, right? Yeah, I have not. I have never seen one before. Oh my god. I just love Jack Knight is standing here just like, what the fuck? Knight's just like, what the fuck? I was like, I need to reset this. Alright. Knight's just looking there as if he's got like the 1,000-yard stare, like, I'm not here right now. I'm in my happy place. You cannot touch me. You cannot touch me. I am in my happy place. And here's, oh my god, I didn't know somebody posted it. Hang on, somebody posted the image right before it. Hold on. The message. The message that was in chat right before it. Points at howls into ether. Sit. Hi, officers. This is mine. Howls into ether sits. Hey, dog, if she whips out a jar of peanut butter, do not hesitate to call 911. Are we taking her home too? Do not the wolf. Do not the wolf. Oh my god. Oh god. Holy shit. Do not the wolf. Do not seek the Trevor. The treasure. Oh my god. There's just some fucking good ones in here. Oh my god! He did it again! What the fuck? Oh shit, I'm in another screenshot. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The hunter, oh no. Oh, speaking of, I gotta tell. Oh, I told you guys about it yesterday with Stalker. That's right. So, end of round grief had triggered. So, it's no longer canon. So, I just screamed out, meanwhile, because I was in the middle of telling something right as the dawn showed up. So, basically, I got cut off mid thought. I was talking. I was talking to everybody in the cairn. This is a cairn, by the way. The totem is right over here to the left. There's a totem here. But I'm talking to everybody at the cairn, and I'm trying to give them information as quickly as I can because the dawn's about to show up, which is the end of the round. And as I'm telling them, and I get the first sentence out, I go to type the second, and the fucking dawn shows up, and I was like, "Fuck!" So it's like, "Fuck it." Meanwhile, let's make a menace. uh, I should just make a WAD channel, but essentially just put in tabletop. Just put in tabletop discussions. Oh my god. Meanwhile, let's make a menace. No! Oh. What if I'm in any more of these? Oh wait, hang on. This is one of the best images anybody has ever captured. Just a moment of absolute perfection. Oh, hang on, hang on. I want to find if there's any more good ones. Oh. What the fuck is around? Holy shit, hold on. Alright, there's two of them. Two more to go. Alright, again, absolute perfection in a single image. Here we go. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so fucking good. It's so fucking good. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah. Genuinely, genuinely, actually perfect. Actually fucking perfect. There it is what one of you will say when you see it. With their hand in front of her eyes. He's like, yeah, I'm blind, dumbasses. Oh my god. Then here's another fantastic one. Or is he at a, or plays a Malkavian, right? Or himself, he's up and down. He has moments where he really wants to be the main character kind of deal, you know? But he plays a Malkavian, and his Malkavian insanities happen at the best times ever. Okay? His Malkavian insanities, when they trigger, are they have some of the most peak comedy timings ever. So he's talking to Frost, who is one of Cross's friends. He's talking to Frost, and he's trying to put the moves on her, right? He's trying to put the moves on her. He wants to hook up with Frost. Frost lets him down as gently as Frost is capable of by blurting out that, or I may in fact be a lesbian. but what is so perfect about it is the moment she says it, one of his insanities triggers. Okay? The moment that she said it, this happened. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit. The fucking timing. The timing of his insanity triggering into self-combust. After he gets rejected. He gets rejected. And he got rejected so hard he fucking self-combusted. What fucking perfect timing for a Malkavian insanity incident. It's so good. It's so fucking good. Poof. Poof. It's so fucking good. It's so fucking funny. It's so fucking funny. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. My god. My fucking god. How does a Malk auto-combust from an insanity trigger? It's one of the effects. One of the other effects is that you'll have a random stalker that will follow you wherever you go, and then they'll eventually attack you and knock you to the ground and start beating on you. All everybody else sees is that you just walking along and you collapse to the ground and start twitching, right? That's what everybody else sees, okay? That's all they see. Meanwhile, you're watching as your fucking alter ego shadow personality is beating the shit out of you, okay? But yeah, no, he again, Frost didn't see himself combust. This is all from Orr's perspective. In Orr's mind, suddenly he got rejected and he burst into flames. Oh my god. Oh yeah. This is the conversation I had with fucking Sal. Hold on. That's a pretty good one. That one's a pretty fucking good one. Okay. So Malkavians are essentially vampire schizos, right? Kind of. Their madness can, like, form in multiple different ways. There we go. Salvador Mardiak is basically the alpha of the Bone Gnars, right? And so he takes Cross aside and he shows Cross the Bone Gnar totem, where it's hidden at and everything, how to get there. And he's asking, like, mind not telling folks? I'm like, of course. And then I go and I punch the punching bag that he has hung up in his cairn because you need to do proper fucking training and everything, right? So I punch the punching bag and it gives me the wettest sound I have ever heard. And I was like, that sounded wet. I didn't have sand. Oh no. What did you use then? Let's go see Delta. Sal, what did you use instead of sand? It is hard to overstate just how wet and squishy sounding it was. It was horrible. Like normally you hit the bag and it's like pop 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 pop. When I punched this bag and it made a sound, I was like, what the fuck was that? what? What was that? What's in the bag, Sal? What's in the bag? What in the fuck happened? Yes. Yeah, Malkavians have all kinds of different like mental madnesses, mental diseases, and everything, right? Or sorry, I should say mental illnesses. It's just how they are. That's how they function. Um, one of them, one of them you saw in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. She wasn't crazy, right? But she could see the future. She was an actual seer. She had that capability to like pick out bits of the future. But she struggled because she's like, okay, I don't know what I'm actually saying. I just say these things, okay? Now they're actually all true, but that was her madness. Was that she can see the future. She doesn't understand it. She doesn't know why. It just happens. She just blurts out what's going to happen and she's just like, I can't control it. Or I should say, she can't she can force herself to do it. She can't pick and choose, you know? It just happens. Oh my god. There are some fucking bangers in here for screenshots, though. A lot of them are just kind of, whatever. But there are some genuinely fucking great screenshots in here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry. I got caught up reading them, god damn it. It's got you going with a new side character? Nice. MILF and Malkavian equals mouth? Oh god. Man, oh man, I just love to yeah, so I love the fact that Malkavians in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, if you play a Malkavian, Jack laughs his ass off and he's like, "Oh man, a Malkavian too. You really are fucked." Oh, oh, it's so fucking good. Oh no, they're having discussions about getting rid of the tech shop. What? Do not the tech shop. Leave the tech shop alone. Oh. Oh, Dread's gonna meta target Nicola over and over again. Uh oh. Uh oh. Well, I gotta protect Nicola. Fuck. Offspring, Benny. They're vampires. Yes. Vampires cannot create offspring. That's part of the point. Again, why would Fire Emblem have any bearing on World of Darkness? What? Asamin, she's alive. Can Lilith bestow vampirism to someone and not have the weaknesses? Well, I don't think so. No. Part of what worked was because Cain had the punishment from God, right? Unironically, Isabel, yes. A.K. Duncan. Unironically, the answer to that question is yes. Oh my goodness sakes. Right. You know, maybe we'll do a fat electrician video. How's that sound? Let's do a fat electrician video, shall we? There's one I was interested in, but I have that rule that I wait till it's 2 weeks afterwards. Do embrace children, stay children. Yeah, you don't age. It's the same thing with your hair. Your hair will revert back to what it was. Like, if you cut it or anything like that, it will revert back to what it was when you died. AKA when you were embraced, but being embraced means you die. Okay. Yeah, but again, it's another one of those things, right? That's another one of those things where even though it's taboo, they still do it. Yeah, it's still weird Dev did that. Absolutely. But it's the same thing with, like, because humans exist, you know that a human or a kinfolk that has gotten with a Gauru has absolutely asked them at some point to spice things up and go lupus form. Or Hispo or Krynos, right? It'd be more unrealistic if you said that never, ever, 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 ever happens. It's like, no, that's... People are fucking weird. That would 100% happen. I'm sorry. What? Yeah, again, Dev is a fucking... Well, as we know, Dev's a mentally retarded child, okay? He's fucking just... Ugh. Okay, so this was actually a month ago. I am super curious about this, because this looks like it's the high-velocity ammunition, right? So we're gonna pull this down. Dev isn't a good guy, absolutely. Okay.
Anybody else remember that one time in the 1940s when nobody could get Christmas lights and nobody knew why, and then it came out like 10 years later that it was because America figured out how to turn Christmas lights into a super weapon to win World War II? Yeah, me neither, but we're going to get into it anyways. Today we're talking about the single most impactful weapon of World War II that gave the Allied forces an unprecedented advantage over their enemies. And before you say it, no, it is not nuclear bombs, okay? By the time nuclear...
I assume he's talking about the HVAP stuff, right? With the... I mean, he talks about the fuse and everything, but I'm assuming that was for the... I'm pretty sure that was, like, created specifically for the high-velocity armor-piercing round.
Nuclear bombs were dropped on Japan. It was not
but I'm not sure. We'll find out.
Going to win the war. It was a question of how is America going to end it, and America chose to close it out with a bang. If you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you that the weapon that we're talking about today is the weapon that got us to the grand finale, not the grand finale itself. And that weapon is the VT fuse, aka the proximity fuse. And we're going to get into it right after a word from our sponsor.
Nick, I have a headache.
Have you drank water?
Yeah.
All right, here. Try one of these.
What is it?
It's called Element. It's going to be even better than water.
Not bad.
Yeah, just try not to get lipstick on my water bottle.
I'll get lipstick on something.
I got to go. This video is brought to you by Element. Okay, look, I'm going to keep this simple. It's basically a rehydration drink, but unlike all the shit you can buy over at the gas station, it actually has more electrolytes. They're in the right ratios.
Yeah, This is what I've talked about this on stream before. Again, not as a sponsorship, right? But we talked about this before. The LMNT. It's the salt drinks I drink.
And it's not full of food dyes and sugar. Okay, watch. I'm going to read the entire ingredient list because I actually know all of these words, which right off the bat's a good sign. Okay, here we go. Sparkling water, salt, citric acid, magnesium, potassium, natural grapefruit flavor, and stevia leaf. That's fucking it. And then somehow they actually managed to make this shit taste good, okay?
Hey,
They've got
Crazy
all your
Valentine.
normal flavors like watermelon, fruit punch.
We talked about a lot of the World of Darkness server and everything like that, and we're going through that. Now we're watching the Fat Electrician video because I'm curious on the argumentation for the VT fuse, right? Kind of like how I was curious about the single most important man, the man who went up Point du Hoc and everything. I was like, I don't know if that would be the deciding factor, or if it would have been the 101st and 82nd Airborne. Like, there are all kinds of like factors and everything. It gets into that whole debate, right? Like, if it gets into that whole debate of what a thing, VTM coincidence, yeah.
But then they also have mango chili, which is actually spicy. Then they've got chocolate, and then when you mix that with warm water, it tastes like hot chocolate. And then if you're a psychopath, or if you're just ultra health-minded and you don't want artificial flavorings, you can get the raw, unflavored version that's literally just salt, potassium, and magnesium. Personally, I like that one because it tastes like commie tears. Okay, and I know what you're thinking. Why on earth is some sports drink that's formulated for elite-level athletes sponsoring a dude called the Fat Electrician? I've got news for you. Middle-aged fat dudes sweat too, okay? Okay, look at me. I sweat in a cold shower. Why do you think I'm wearing tank tops all the time, okay? So when I go to jujitsu 5 times a week to pretend like I'm Joe Rogan or Jocko Willink for an hour or two, I get super...
Jets weren't the thing that won World War II. We didn't have jets until after World War II. The Axis had jets. We did not.
Sweaty, then I get muscle cramps, and this shit helps. And then on top of that, I have a horrible habit of...
And by the way, the reason it helps with muscle cramps is because of the magnesium.
Getting aggressively drunk with my friends and being hungover the next day, and this helps with that too. Okay, so if you want to give it a try, they've got it in cans, they've got it in little drink pouches. If you use my link down below, you're going to get a free sample pack, and there's a money-back guarantee. If you don't like it, they'll refund the entire thing.
By the way, I do like this stuff a lot. I really do. Hang on, let me get out of the way so you can see. That way you can see his full thing. I actually do drink these before. Like, what a weird fucking surprise. I do have these packs. I actually made one earlier today because of it. Alright.
So if you want to give it a try, head over to drinklmnt.com/thefatElectrician. Let's get back to the video. All right, our story begins in 1939, and at this point in time, there's approximately 2 different types of fuses for artillery and anti-aircraft rounds, okay? First, we have the direct hit fuse, which essentially is exactly what it sounds like. The round hits some...
Yeah, basically, it's just your traditional explosive cap, right? For the fuse. When the round hits, the tip deforms, pushes back, touches the button, the bang button basically explodes. That's your impact activated round. Then you have your timing based rounds, which the Germans used a lot, which is where you can preset the round to explode after a certain amount of time and then fire it up, and that's a fuse that goes through. The proximity fuse was an American design, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was for the HVAP system. I mean, we'll see.
Something solid, it then blows up. This is typically what's used in artillery. And then we had a variable timed fuse that was more commonly used in anti-aircraft rounds. Basically,
that's what if you see the Flak 88 firing, you see those big flak explosions in the sky. That's the variable time fuse. That's them putting a time on it and firing up to explode and everything.
If you saw planes coming in, you would try to guess how far away they were, and then you would time how long it would take the projectile to get there. And there was a knob on the round where you could set it to detonate at like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds. You would do some quick math and then try to shoot it at the plane, and then after it left the barrel 7 seconds later, it would explode in midair, whether it was near the plane or not. And then, as I'm sure you can imagine, trying to guesstimate the range on a plane and then guesstimate where it's going to be at, and then trying to have all these factors aligned to blow up at the exact moment that it's near the plane wasn't very effective.
Well, again, it's not very effective until you get good at it. That's kind of what happened with the Atlantic Wall gunners, right? That was part of why it was so important that the one German ace escorted the bomber crew, escorted Ye Olde Pub out of the combat zone, was so that the Atlantic Wall gunners wouldn't fire. Because the Atlantic Wall gunners got really good at firing anti-aircraft guns. Really fucking good at it. Again, the jet is not what won the war. No, the Allies didn't have jets. The Axis had jets. That isn't what won the war. Not even close.
To put not very effective into perspective, in the early days of World War II, they said it took somewhere between 2,500 and 1,800 anti-aircraft rounds to down a single plane. So
Yes,
pretty much everybody on the
that is
planet
true.
had basically the same idea, like, man, wouldn't it be cool if the anti-aircraft round just magically knew when it got near the plane and blew up at the exact perfect moment every single time. So pretty much everybody all over the planet has this, like, on the back burner trying to figure out this new type of weapons technology. Japan, Germany, the UK, America, everybody's been working on this in the background, but there's not a big rush because there's no war going on at the time. And then September 1939, World War II kicks off, and then almost exactly a year after
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we're talking to a point where the jets didn't fucking matter. By that point, it was over.
that, Germany starts heavily bombing Britain in the Blitz, and now Britain has a pretty good incentive to figure out this new type of weapons technology. Now, the UK doesn't really know how they're going to pull this off, but they do know they need to figure out how to get small electronics to be able to survive inside of an artillery round after it's been fired, which, as I'm sure you can imagine, it's subjected to a lot of G-force, which is going to break small electronic devices, especially back in the 1940s when everything was run off of vacuum tubes. So the British figure out right out of the gate, like, hey, this thing's spinning at 50,000 rotations per minute once it's fired. We need to make these electronic components as small and as light as possible so they don't rip themselves apart just under the G-force of their own weight. Which makes perfect sense. I mean, when Dad's had one too many chiladas on a Sunday afternoon and decides he's going to get the kids going on the Ferris wheel as fast as he can, the fat kid flies off first, okay? That's just science. Was I the fat kid? Don't fucking worry about it. I had a great childhood, okay? Now, at this point in time, Britain is in full-on war production. All of their industrial capacity is being used to build new warplanes to defend themselves, and they don't have the capacity to start investing in all this, like, new microcircuitry and tiny little itty-bitty vacuum tubes. So they decide, hey, we're just gonna order 20,000 miniature electron tubes from this hearing aid company over in America. And then the American War Department hears about this, and they're like, you guys working on fucking hearing aids right now while the Germans are bombing you every night? No, you're not. What the fuck are you up to? So the British comes clean and they tell America, like, hey, we're allies, whatever. Here's what we're doing. We're trying to develop this anti-aircraft round that can sense when it gets near a plane and then blow up in midair and fuck up all these planes. So we quit getting bombed every night. At which point America's like, cool, great, dope, whatever. We'll give you whatever you need, but you have to give us all of the information that you get from your testing, so we have it also. So the British go, they do their testing, they do figure out how to get the electrical components to survive being shot out of an artillery shell, but they don't really figure out anything else after that. They don't figure out how to actually make it sense the plane, and they don't figure out the biggest problem of how in the fuck do you get a power source to all these electrical components, because it's 1940 and batteries aren't really that great at this point in time. So the entire project just kind of gets shelved, regarded as impossible, nobody can figure out how to do it, everybody just kind of moves on. And then fast forward to 1941, Japan commits the ultimate cardinal sin of touching America's boats.
Oh, now you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
At which point Uncle Sam is
Oh, yeah, that's fucking great. You've now made the cardinal sin. You've touched a boat. Again, never touch America's boats. We do not like that shit.
was like, here, hold my beer. You, go get a bunch of science nerds, tell them I want to put a sun inside of a bomb so I can drop it on my enemies. Hand me my lab coat. I'm going to go figure out this magic bullet that knows when to blow up thing. Okay, I've said this once and I'll say it again. Nothing stokes human creativity like the desire to kill a motherfucker that you don't like, because America figures out how to make a proximity fuse in like a couple of months. So more or less, oversimplified version of what they
Damn, I didn't realize how fast they did it. To like a couple months, and they figure out this problem that the rest of the world's been struggling with. Holy shit.
They did. They took a Doppler radar, stuck it inside of this artillery round. That way, when the round is flying through the air, it's constantly emitting pulse signals. And then if there's open air, the pulse signals aren't hitting anything, so they're not coming back to the round. But when the round gets close to something solid in the sky, like an enemy plane, the signals hit the plane, bounce back, and the round can sense that. And then when the round senses that it's close enough to the plane, it blows up, and there's fucking death confetti everywhere at the exact perfect moment. And that's not even the crazy part.
Oh, we want to talk about Cambodia and Vietnam and how fucked that was and what all the Democrats did to ensure we lost that war? Because that's also the war where the army was sabotaging itself and getting as many of its own soldiers killed intentionally to make the M16 look bad. Like, do we really want to talk about Cambodia and Vietnam? Like, holy shit. The war where they forced every single American aircraft to fly through a very specific channel if they wanted to bomb North Vietnam. Every single aircraft. Like, holy shit. Like, my God. That is a war that was intentionally sabotaged to be lost. It wasn't that the North Vietnamese and everything were good fighters. No, they sucked. They were terrible fighters. But we got so much shit stacked against us in the most absurd ways possible. This is where the fucking rules of engagement came from, by the way. If you want to know why U.S. troops and everything can't shoot first, we have to let our enemies shoot first, this is why. Fucking politicians got involved, and they forced us to have this stupid-ass rule where we can't shoot first. That includes in aerial combat, by the way. Oh my God, it's a fucking disaster. It's a fucking disaster. Holy shit. It's a fucking disaster. It's unbelievable. So, okay, I want you guys to imagine this, all right? You intentionally tell the enemy, hey, we're not allowed to have any planes go anywhere else but down this one narrow corridor. Please put all your anti-aircraft gun and everything there, right? So they do. North Vietnamese literally pile up in huge dog piles of anti-aircraft guns along the one air corridor they're allowed to fly through. Because politicians, they know how to win this war, baby. Now, on the other hand, it's like, hey, all of their anti-aircraft guns are in one place. If we tell our bombers to bomb them, we get rid of all their anti-aircraft guns because the North Vietnamese are fucking stupid. The politicians then come along, herp-de-derp-de-derp-de-derp. No, you can't bomb any of their anti-aircraft gun emplacements because you might kill a Russian advisor. And then they fuck off. And every single member of the Air Force and the military looks over Washington and are like, you're all fucking retarded. What the fuck? What? That is why the United States Air Force wasn't allowed to bomb any anti-aircraft position the North Vietnamese had. Because of the potential that they might kill a fucking Russian advisor. It's so fucking dumb. It's so fucking dumb. Keep in mind, this is also while U.S. Army Ordnance is actively sabotaging the M16 rifle and intentionally getting as many soldiers killed as possible because they don't like the fact that Armalite got the contract and it didn't go to Springfield Armory, who are their bestest buddies. Because, you know, fucking greed, nepotism, and corruption. Holy shit. It is wild. It is fucking wild. Again, Vietnam was a politician's war, okay? Like, Vietnam was a politician's war. It was fucking insane. That's why MAGVSOG even existed the way it did. Was because they realized they can't even let Washington know what the fuck's going on. Because Washington are retarded and trying to fucking lose it for us. And they did. They succeeded. Washington succeeded in losing it for them. Good job. Bunch of morons. Ugh.
The crazy part is the battery, right? Because we can't just put a normal battery inside this artillery round, because by the time that we build it in America, ship it across the ocean, the shitty batteries in the 1940 would have lost the charge, and then the round's just going to be a dud right out of the gate. So what they did is they took a small vial of acid, put it in the middle of the artillery round, and then surrounded it with lead, and then hooked it up to electrodes, so that when the artillery round was fired, the glass would break, the acid would get all over the lead and create an electrical current to power the Doppler radar while it was in flight. Okay, do you understand what I just said? America created an artillery round that after it was shot out of a howitzer would manufacture its own battery mid-flight to know when to fuck up the enemy. But how long does the battery last? For the enemies in the plane, it's a lifetime supply, homie. It's the...
Yeah, again, I do love his keyboard warrior, but those are those questions, those are those moments and comments that people give that you just look at them like, however long the battery's in, however fucking long the shell's in flight for, dumbass. Holy shit. Who fucking cares how long it lasts? It just needs to last for the fucking 10 seconds it's in the air. Oh my god. Oh.
Last battery they're ever going to need. Now, to be fair, there is some obvious problems, you know, like having a small vial of glass being the only thing that's standing between you and an artillery round blowing up the second it gets near anything solid is kind of terrifying. As I'm sure you can imagine, transporting that would be a nightmare because if one of those things breaks, you're going to blow up the entire truck. So, as a safety mechanism, they actually ended up cutting little tiny wafers of lead and stacking them all along the vial, and then if the vial broke, it would just kind of like leak out and it wouldn't do anything, but when it was shot out of a gun, the 50,000 rotations a minute would have enough centrifugal force to make the lead fly out and in between all the lead wafers, and that's how it would power. So the shell's only going to go off when it's spinning after it's been fired out of a gun. So America's done it. We've essentially made magic bullets, and now America is going to do what America does best. We're going to tie up this solution in bureaucratic nonsense so that nobody can use it.
Son of a bitch. Wow. Okay.
Just trying to help you, Michael.
Bitch.
Yeah, the man.
That's the same fucking thing that happened to Britain when it came to the mosquito. Fucking politicians and bureaucrats get involved, and you're just like, are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious right now?
Man in charge of this project, Commander William S. Parsons, decides he's not going to let this project move forward until he's 100% convinced that this product is perfect. So the proximity fuse has essentially been shelved yet again. Cue my favorite naval commander of all time, Willis Augustus Lee, aka...
Oh my god, Willie Lee's coming back. Holy shit. I knew Willie Lee was one of the main characters in World War II, but fucking hell, he's actually back again to do something again.
Ching Lee.
On your left.
Okay, I did a whole video on this guy a while back. If you haven't seen it,
He literally, so, Ching Lee, Willie Lee, he actually revolutionized the entire concept of naval artillery by himself. He single-handedly revolutionized artillery on naval ships by himself. He is a fucking badass. But not only did he do that, he also showed how terrible base security was, too, before that. But because what he did is he went and he actually manually sighted every single artillery piece, every single gun platform on his ship. Every single one. So he knew exactly how every single barrel fired. And his ships, the ships he was in command of, were devastatingly effective. Because he even started showcasing like the Coriolis effect and everything, and like how you have to arc the rounds around the curvature of the fucking earth. He was an Olympian. He was a gold medal Olympic sniper before he was in the Navy, okay? The Navy didn't want to take him because he quote-unquote had bad eyesight. Alright? The man who's a gold medal Olympiad sniper was told he couldn't join the Navy because he had bad eyesight. So he fucking cheated. And then, once he was in and they realized how good he was, they didn't care. It's just fucking wild. Oh, it's just fucking wild. No, the single most important person in World War II was Percy Hobart. By far. Holy shit.
I highly recommend you go watch it because he's absolutely incredible. But the real quick and dirty of it is, this guy has these super thick glasses because when he was in like 7th grade, he got bored.
I'm absolutely positive. Percy Hobart
and built a bomb that blew up in his own face and permanently damaged his vision. So naturally, he then went on to become a 5-time gold medalist sharpshooter in the Olympics. He then went on to become a strategic genius in the Navy. He is the reason that every single American naval vessel in World War II is absolutely covered in anti-aircraft guns. Using his sharpshooting experience, he is the one that figured out and developed the calculations for a battleship battery to take into account the Coriolis effect, or the rotation of the Earth in targeting data. And he is also the one that pioneered being able to shoot at an enemy using nothing more than radar, even when you can't see the enemy. The man is a prodigy that changed warfare forever. And at this point in time, early 1942...
Oh, it doesn't matter how big the front was. No, Percy Hobart. Because Percy Hobart's the one that invented the Blitzkrieg tactic. He's the one that also reinvented the British military's use of tanks and everything. Originally, the British were so butthurt about tanks existing, they wanted them to act as fucking dragoons, which is so monumentally stupid. Percy Hobart's the one that also was the first person in the world to put a fucking radio inside a tank. But yeah, the British wanted to use it as dragoons. AKA, you would drive the tank up to the field of battle, you would then park the tank, the gunner and the loader would stay in the tank and act like a turret, and everybody else would get out of the tank, grab rifles, and act like infantry. Because the British were stupid. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh, it is. Percy Hobart was watching this, and he was just like, what the fuck are you all doing? It is fucking wild. And again, they did it because the cavalry officers didn't like that tanks were replacing their precious horses. That's why they did it. Because they wanted to make the tanks look worse. It's so fucking dumb. It's so dumb. It's just... Oh, God.
So essentially, right after Pearl Harbor, Ching Lee was given orders to basically go around the Navy and just cut through red tape and unfuck everything to get the entire Navy as ready as possible for war. And even though he had the authority to cut through red...
No. Percy Hobart didn't just right wrongs. Percy Hobart revolutionized tank warfare multiple times. Percy Hobart is why Blitzkrieg even exists. That wasn't invented by Rommel or Guderian or anything. No. Percy Hobart's the one that invented the Blitzkrieg, and he showcased it to the British, but the British officers hated Percy so much that they actually bribed the judges and made it fail intentionally. But Germany paid attention. Germany was like, holy fuck, that's a really good idea. And they took fucking notes. They actually took all of Percy Hobart's work and translated it into German so that they could do it. Percy Hobart then comes along afterwards, once he gets reinstated in the military, because the officer corps succeeded in medboarding him out and cracking him all the way down, or not medboarding him out, they tried to medboard him out, but they cracked him all the way down from being a fucking general all the way down to being a corporal. And it was Winston Churchill who had to come along and tell them, you're all a bunch of fucking morons. Alright? You're all stupid. Percy Hobart, like, the officers' corps is not a fucking boys' club. We need people that actually know what they're doing, you morons. So, they brought Percy Hobart back. And remember, Percy Hobart has unfucked part of the British military, okay? Not all of them. He's unfucked one part of it. He unfucked the Africa Corps, which is why the Desert Rats were the only force that was able to even stand up against the German offensive, right? Because they actually used their tanks like fucking tanks and not like fucking dragoons, which is what all the other British officers did. They used their fucking tanks like dragoons, and so they got their asses creamed by the German Blitzkrieg. So then Percy Hobart, now back in a fucking command, he has to come along and he invents, right? He invents all of the tanks that are used for D-Day. He actually creates brand new tanks that they nickname Percy Hobo's Funnies, right? So, he invents all of these tanks, and he is the reason why they had all of these tanks make it through the D-Day invasion into the fight. He also invented tanks to quickly deploy bridges because he knew the Germans were going to blow up bridges. He had ways to clear out minefields, all of them. That is where the crocodile tank comes in, the flamethrower tank. That is where the crab flail tank comes in. That's where the duplex drive Shermans come in. All of these are Percy Hobart. Without Percy Hobart, you don't have the war. He is the most integral part to the entire war. Hands down. And it sucks because he's British, because I want the Americans to get credit for that. But no, he is literally the war itself. He is why the Allies won. And again, he was smart enough too. Instead of keeping his armored core as one unit, he instead piecemealed it out to different units, so that hey, we've run into German bunkers. Okay, I'm gonna send you some crocodiles. So the crocodiles show up, all the Germans surrender because they're terrified of the fucking crocodile tanks. Hey, we've got a minefield here. All right, I'm gonna lend out my crab flail tanks to you guys. You guys can get through the minefields. Like, holy shit. They still try to erase him from World War II history afterwards because the officer corps hated him that much. The officer corps genuinely hated Percy Hobart that much. Because he didn't like playing the gentleman, the officer and a gentleman nonsense that the rest of the officer corps wanted. And to be fair, he did have an affair with another officer's wife, but the two of them got married after like the divorce and everything. And so Percy Hobart and the officer's wife that he shagged got together and they stayed together. But yeah. It's wild. And it's the same thing, like, he actually, like, had his guys go sneak onto the beaches of Normandy and figure out what sand it was, and then developed tanks known as the bobbin tanks that were actually designed to lay down roads as they went so that every single other tank could drive up the beach without getting stuck in the sand. Yeah, exactly. He wasn't enough of an up-his-own-ass officer for the rest of the officer corps, which is, again, why they succeeded in bringing him all the way down from fucking general all the way down to fucking corporal. Like, holy shit, they hated him something fierce. And again, it's because he constantly made them look bad. He was someone there to do a job, and he knew what he was doing. But he constantly made them look awful.
Tape, the problem was this was 1942. You couldn't send a text message, you couldn't send an email. Everything was done by either handwritten or typed letters, and then you had to stamp everything with like priority, urgent, standard, telling the mail carrier and the military like how quick does this letter need to get where it's going.
If I remember right, Ching Li created his own stamp that was like what was it? What was his stamp? He had one. He created his own stamp that was essentially like the maximum priority, like shit's hit the fan, we're a DEFCON 1 sort of, you know. I'll probably say it. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what it was off the top of my head.
And urgent, being the fastest option, wasn't fast enough for Ching Li. So he went and had his own custom rubber stamp made, and he used red ink, and in all caps, his rubber stamp said, frantic. So that was...
There we go, frantic. Yep, fucking perfect. Perfect.
Every time Ching Li had a project that he wanted to get pushed through the Navy as fast as possible, he would stamp it with a big red frantic, and then every paper pusher in the Navy has that come across their desk, and they're like, oh shit, oh fuck, I've never seen anything labeled frantic, and they grab it, and that is now their sole mission in life, to get this to the next place. So all his
Yep. It's fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Shit gets done super fast. So as soon as Ching Li hears that we've essentially made magic artillery shells tied up in bureaucratic nonsense, he gives it the old frantic stamp and pushes it right along. Yep. Saying, and I quote, we're looking for a workable solution, not a perfect one. So it immediately goes into
again, that's a problem with a lot of people. Perfection because the enemy of good enough, right? they keep wanting perfection. Oh, it doesn't work. There's this little niggling thing. It's like, does it work 95% of the time? Then it's good enough.
Testing, and its first test is to have an anti-aircraft battery on the ground firing at a bunch of radio-operated drones above, and these proximity fuses absolutely crush these drones, okay? The only person disappointed was the commanding officer of the drones because he was mad they were shooting down all of his drones.
You ruined my free toy!
Great. Next phase of testing takes place in August of 1942. They take the proximity fuses out in the USS Cleveland, and they're going to try to shoot down drones over the ocean. This testing is slotted for 2 full days, and they've got 3 drones to shoot down, okay? Bear in mind, the British are reporting back that it's taking approximately 1,800 anti-aircraft artillery rounds to down a single enemy plane. So, with one ship shooting at 3 different planes, this should take a while. Testing ended up getting cut short because the USS Cleveland shot down all 3 drones with the first 4 rounds fired.
Oh my god. Oh my god, yes. God, I didn't realize how big of a thing it was. I would if he had been like the first 20 rounds, I'd have been like, yeah, that's really good. The fact it was the first 4 fucking rounds. Holy shit.
Statistically speaking, this should have taken between 5,000 and 6,000 rounds, and it took 4. So obviously at this point, America's all in. Call up Rosie the Riveter. We've got something new to make. The whole 9 yards, right? Now the problem is, how the fuck are we going to mass produce this thing, right? Because we're using these tiny little tubes that were used from hearing aids, and hearing aid manufacturing isn't that big at the time. We're not going to be able to mass produce this thing. So the government goes out to General Electric, which coincidentally is the biggest manufacturer of Christmas lights on the planet at this point in time, and is like, here's the deal. You're not making Christmas lights anymore. You're going to take those little Christmas lights, and instead of putting a little light filament in there, you're going to fill it with this acid, and then you're going to seal off the other end, and you're going to give it to us, and you're going to shut the fuck up about it, okay? At which point GE is like, cool, government contracts are awesome. Now we've got the manufacturing, and we can mass produce this thing. This is why you don't...
When you get a government contract on a scale like this, it's one of those... It's literally that meme of, so I guess we're manufacturing acid bottles now. Because this is something that will pay for you, your factories, like your families, your workers' families for years. So it's like, oh, okay, yep, nope, we're doing it. All right, listen up, everybody. We're changing what we're doing right now.
Touch the boats, all right? You touch the boats, one thing leads to another, and now we're weaponizing Christmas lights.
I think you might be overdoing it, Dad.
Russ, when was the last time I overdid anything?
Okay, seriously though.
Oh my god, what a perfect fucking montage. What a perfect little montage there. Holy shit. I love that the very first one was the hedgehogs. Oh my god. Oh. When have I ever overdone anything?
Oh, this is absolutely huge. This has to be top secret. Nobody can know about this. Even the dudes in the anti-aircraft battery don't know that they're firing a proximity fused ammunition. They just know that suddenly overnight they got like 20 times better at their job. And because this technology absolutely cannot fall into enemy hands, it becomes standard practice that they're only allowed to shoot proximity fused ammunition over water. So the only people that are going to have access to this are the Navy, and then we're also going to give it to the British over in England because their anti-aircraft defenders are firing out over the English Channel, so any duds are going to land in the water and sink to the bottom of the ocean and ideally be unrecoverable. And then there's the last problem. What are we going to name this thing, right? We don't want to call it anything too obvious, right? The reason that we call tanks was because back in World War I, when the British developed the first tank,
they were faking that it was water tanks and everything. They didn't want it to be known that they were creating a new weapon of war. So it was tank production. Water tanks. Totally.
Just called it that because on the chart list, they wanted anybody that intercepted documents to think, oh, it must be like a water tank or something. So we have to have a deceptive name. So they came up with the VT fuse. And that way, anytime somebody was like reading a chart or an inventory list and they just read VT fuse, they'd go, what the fuck is a VT? Oh, variable timed fuse.
Yep.
Those old school ones that just, you know, you spin the knob and it blows up in 7 seconds. Whoop-de-doo, who cares? So we've got it. Everything's perfect. America starts manufacturing 250,000 of these rounds every single week. We start sending them out with the U.S. Navy, and then we ship a ton of them over to Great Britain so they can start defending themselves against all these German bombing raids that they've been dealing with for like over a year at this point. The first VT fuse to down an enemy was on January 5th, 1943, when the USS Helena shot down a dive bomber, and from that moment on, the U.S. Navy and the British air defenders started wrecking house with this new ammunition. The British reported back that the average amount of ammunition expenditure went from 1,800 rounds to down an enemy plane to 85. They said not only were they shooting down way more enemy planes with way less ammunition, but the proximity fuse was actually so sensitive and so good at its job that when it got near a bird in flight, it would blow up.
Dude, I still remember when this fucking happened. Like, this was a wild... If you've never seen this one before, and you know how fast pitchers in the leagues can throw, right? This was... The timing on this is incredible.
And so good at its job that when it got near a bird in flight, it would blow up the bird. And at this point, common sense would tell you, like, okay, maybe we should dial back the sensitivity on this thing a little bit if we're blowing up something as small as a bird. But no. Because that means that it's going to be perfect to actually shoot down the German V-1 rocket. Germany's been shooting these V-1 rockets into Britain, and there's almost nothing they could do about it. They just kind of had to grit their teeth and take the hit every single time because these rockets were moving way too fast for the anti-aircraft artillery batteries to actually do anything to them, like 99% of the time.
And the fucking V1 rockets also had that horrible sound. That horrible sound of like a bike chain rattling. Just ugh.
We found one account from a British soldier, and I'm paraphrasing here, but more or less he says that we knew we couldn't do anything against the V-1 rocket bombs, but we would still go out there and shoot at them anyways, even though we knew we weren't going to shoot them down, just because it made the citizenry feel better because they didn't feel like they were completely helpless. They went from shooting down less than 10% of the V-1 rockets to shooting down 85% of them with the new VT fuse. Now, panning back over the U.S. Navy in the Pacific, it's basically a turkey shoot at this point, and the Japanese are finding out the hard way that traditional dive bombing tactics are way less cool when the bullets flying past you don't fly past you and explode right next to you and shoot your plane down, right? Because that's what they've been using the entire time. When they were getting shot at with actual variable timed fuses that had a secondary timer, the fuses were either blowing up way in front of them or they'd fly right past them and blow up behind them, and they were typically fine. But now, all of a sudden, for no reason from their perspective, all of the fuses are blowing up at the opportune moment every single time. The Americans are shooting down so many Japanese planes that they're literally running out of planes and pilots. And
that's why one of the incidents, they called it the Great Turkey Shoot for a fucking reason.
Over the course of a little bit over a year, they've basically completely run out of experienced pilots because they don't do what the Americans do, where they're like, oh, we've got a really good, seasoned, experienced pilot. We're going to pull him out of combat, send him back to go train all the new guys, so all of our new guys are up to a higher standard. No, most other militaries don't do that. They're just constantly sending in their best guys every single time. And because of that, after about a year and a half of the VT fuse being used in combat, not only is there no good Japanese pilots left in combat, there's no good pilots left on the back end to train all the new guys, so now their entire air force is just completely crippled. And this is why by October of 1944, the Japanese resorted to kamikaze attacks, literally just bolting young men into the cockpit of a plane and sending them on a one-way mission to their death. And while that is unfortunate for them, luckily for the Americans, the VT fuse does not discriminate. It can't tell the difference between a dive bomber and a kamikaze, so it just blows them up too. Now, there's a bunch of different stories where a bunch of different ships have shot down a ton of kamikazes using the VT fuse, but the shining example is the USS Laffey. The Laffey is a Fletcher-class destroyer, and the Fletcher-class destroyers was America's mass production ship during World War II. These things are so lightly armored that they are nicknamed tin cans. Using the VT fuse in a single battle over the course of an hour, the Laffey went toe-to-toe with 22 Japanese kamikazes, shot down 9 of them, and heavily damaged the rest. Do you understand how demoralizing that has to be to the enemy? Like, there's entire countries on Earth right now that don't have 22 aircraft in their entire military. I think the average for a first world country is somewhere between 100 and 150 total aircraft across all branches of their military. And that's fighters, bombers, recon, absolutely everything. Could you imagine throwing all of the fighter planes your country has at a singular ship that's referred to as a tin can and it fucks up all of them? By this point in time...
Yeah. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say about it. Like the Fletcher, I still love a lot of the destroyers and everything like that. A lot of them are so interesting because America rapid produced some of the most devastating fucking anti-submarine and anti-aircraft weapon systems on the planet and put them on our fucking destroyers. The fucking hedgehogs are still just it. The hedgehogs are one of the most beautiful anti-submarine weapons of all time. Holy shit. If you don't know what a hedgehog is, it's a basically it's this entire back deck or front deck, because they can be front loaded as well, unlike depth charges. But it's either front deck or back deck, and it fires out like a ring of mortar shells. They will hit the water, not explode on impact with hitting the water. They sink down because they're heavy, and the moment they touch metal, they explode violently. Or if they hit the sea bottom, they'll explode. Yeah, they were like stupidly effective. Holy shit.
And the VT fuse has officially changed naval and aerial warfare forever. And it's about to change warfare as a whole, because by late 1944, Eisenhower sees how effective the VT fuse is for the Navy in Great Britain, and he ends up demanding that they give it to his ground troops in Europe. After seeing how overwhelmingly effective they are, he doesn't give a shit about it being top secret and only firing it over the ocean anymore, because by the time they're able to capture a dud and reverse engineer it, the war's gonna be over, and he knows that. So they take the VT fuse and they start sticking it in normal artillery. Now, normal artillery up until now was usually direct impact, right? The shell hits the ground, it explodes, launches shrapnel.
Creates airburst. Airburst fucking artillery shells. Holy shit. Yeah, I actually thought the fuse would be for the HVAP system, but it's not. That's a good bit of news for me. German engineering my ass when they got really compared to the mass productions of the US or even the USSR. It's because a lot of people, the German engineered stuff, it's a beautiful mechanical thing, but it's a fucking nightmare, right? We talked about what happens if a fan goes out on the Tiger tank versus a fan goes out on the Sherman. Fan goes out, if one of the fans go out on the engine deck of the Sherman, you pop the engine deck off, you pull the fan out, you put a new fan in, you're done in like 30 minutes. If a fan goes out on the Tiger tank, you're going to be in the bay for a month taking it all apart. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things like German engineering was so precise and had so much logistical stuff tied into it that only engineers could deal with it. American tanks, the Sherman being the greatest tank in World War II, fucking hands down. The Sherman not only had the same armor capabilities as the fucking Tiger tank, and once we got the Easy program, so the E6 to get the 76 high velocity, like once we got that and the Easy 8s and everything, there was no contest. There was no armor that the Germans could put up against the Americans and the British by that extent, because the British had the Fireflies, which is basically an E6, but it uses the British. The British use fucking weird naming conventions. I don't think it's 6-pounder gun. It might be 6-pounder. I think it's a 3-pounder gun. I need to remember. I can't remember what the Firefly used. Hold on a second. Hold on. It's also why at first a bunch of people thought that the British were the only ones that had the long barrel gun. It's a 17-pounder. Wow, I said 6. Whew, I was way off. I hate your naming conventions, Britain. Britain, I hate the naming conventions for your weapons. They're awful. Why not just call it a 76mm gun, which is what it actually is? Why do you have to call it a 17-pounder? Why? Anyways, point being, so the British had the Firefly. And the Americans didn't. The Americans are still using the snub-nose 75, right? So, the Americans had struggles getting through the thicker armors on the German tanks, the German heavies and ultra-heavy tanks. Whereas the British didn't. The British Fireflies, because they had the 76mm gun, were just punching right through. So what ended up happening was a lot of the American units would coordinate with British armor to get the Fireflies in the fight. That was until we got the E program upgrades and got a 76mm gun put on as well. Ultra heavy refers to stuff like the King Tiger and everything like that, where normal weight classifications don't work for a lot of the German armor stuff, because stuff like the Ferdinand, the Elephant, the King Tiger, and things like that were ultra heavy. There's, in traditional terms of what a light, medium, and heavy tank are, the fucking Germans were just like more. Remember, the Ferdinand was such a heavy fucking tank, it couldn't even go up a small hill. Oh my god. Granted, then the Americans made the super heavy tortoise. So, you know, just because they wanted to prove that they could push through the Siegfried line and not give two shits. Okay. Oh my god. We're just going to push through the Siegfried line.
Everywhere. That's still pretty effective, but if a dude is like dug into a hole, all the shrapnel is going to fly right over the top of him, right?
Yep.
And half the shrapnel, once it hits the ground, goes into the fucking ground immediately. So now with the proximity fuse, it's going to sense the ground 40, 50, 60 feet above, and it's going to blow up and blow all that.
Yep, airburst. This is also why it's the same principle for why nuclear weapons are now airburst and everything. Because you don't want to waste any of the potential, the destructive potential, by going into the ground itself. You airburst above.
That shit straight down on top of people, whether they're in a foxhole or not. This new airburst artillery is so devastating that the first time it's ever used in combat, it basically puts the linchpin in the European theater and ends the war. Because the first time the VT fuse was used in combat was at the Battle of the Bulge. Okay, if you don't know what the Battle of the Bulge is, essentially Germany was on their heels and they decided, fuck it, we're going to throw one big last Hail Mary.
Nuclear weapons are airburst. I don't know why you think they're not, that they're 100% airburst now.
We're going to take everything we've got in one big offensive and attack the American line, try to punch through with our blitzkrieg tactic, and
They absolutely do. I don't know how you think they don't. No, they absolutely do the more damage than ground burst. Ground burst, most of the destructive potential goes into the ground. Air burst is way more effective and way more damaging.
Destroy the Americans. And it was working out for them right up until it started raining metal. The new airburst artillery absolutely shredded German infantry units. There was nowhere they could hide. Foxholes weren't really that effective against airburst, and even if they wanted to dig one, the ground was half frozen. And when they tried to hide in the wood line, the airburst literally cut the forest down around them. You can find pictures of the Ardennes forest after the Battle of the Bulge, and the tops of the trees are just cut off with complete carnage underneath them. But chubby electron guys exaggerating. The VT fuse wasn't that big of a deal, and it didn't make a huge impact at the Battle of the Bulge. Buh. You know what? Fine. Don't take my word for it. I wasn't there. Let's see what General Patton had to say about it. And I quote, "The funny fuse won the Battle of the Bulge for us. I think when all the armies get this shell, we will have to devise some new method of warfare."
Yep.
So yeah, while nuclear bombs ended World War II in the Pacific theater in particular, they are not the weapon that got the war to its end. That credit belongs to the VT fuse in both the European and the Pacific theater, and for that reason, it is the most important weapon of World War II. Real quick, I do have to give a special thank you because this video...
I also think what would have been interesting is if we had gotten the Patterson rifle? If we had gotten that when we were supposed to get it. Because a lot of things for the Pacific Theater, this is a Marine Corps specialty, right? Marine Corps infamously gets a lot of equipment that are hand-me-downs or they're way behind the times. During the Pacific Theater, for much of the fighting, the Marine Corps had World War I weaponry still. It's why the Marine Corps was using the 1928 Thompsons and everything. Like, that's what they had. They had the water-cooled fucking 19... fuck, what was it? What? I forget what the designation was. It was the water jacket cooled fucking literal emplaced machine guns and shit, right? It was later in the war when they finally got M1 Garands and stuff. They were still using the fucking Springfield 1903s. It was bad. It was real bad. I don't know why you said airburst creates the most damage, because that's objectively wrong, and I would like you to check your facts. And you said rainbow bombs? The fuck is a rainbow bomb? If it bursts above the ground, I'm gonna fucking slap you. Hold on. Oh, it's a burst above the ground. A fucking high altitude nuclear explosion, aka rainbow bomb. Fucking, it's an air burst. You are so... Oh my god. You are so fucking dumb. Oh. The fuck do you think airburst means? Oh my god. How? Airburst doesn't mean to be in the air. It means it blows up above the ground. It literally means it blows up above the ground. It's not ground impact explosion. Oh my god. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my god. Okay. Right. Anyways. Japan gave plenty of information on the best use of a nuke, considering both were airburst drops. Yeah. One of them, and again, one of them was an implosion device. The other was an explosion device. Anyways, yeah, oh wait, let's finish, hold on. We need to finish out, Fat Electrician. He's got his final, thing here to say.
Video would have never happened if it wasn't for Fort Sill, the home of the artillery down in Oklahoma. In particular, Corey, the curator over at the Air Defense Artillery Training and Support Facility, which is basically a museum for the history of American air defense weapons platforms, and the proximity fuse was one of probably 200 exhibits there. Me and my friend Ethan, also known as Habitual Line Crosser here on YouTube, got together and we're making a new Pepperbox exclusive show where we get to go around the country and tour military museums and learn from the...
Oh man, I so wish we had our museum here. Holy shit, it was actually one of the biggest armored displays there was.
Curators at those museums, and here's a teaser for that.
Training support facilities are not open to the public, and they are basically facilities that we can bring in soldiers to instill a little bit of esprit de corps to them, and Congress finds themselves looking down the barrels of two hot 40 millimeters. When you hurt Congress, that's going to be the end of your program.
It worked perfect. Why are they mad? It hates piles of shit. It's awesome. This is my new favorite tank. There's nothing funnier than just America being like, this is cool. We're going to take it and put it in a museum.
And that's a large blow up of the day that Japan fucked around.
Mm-hmm.
We get to the find out
section.
Yeah, the find out section just past us.
Suck that, German engineering.
Can't build a prox fuse, can't win a world war. Fucking sucks to suck.
No, you can.
Oh my god. That's fucking great. By the way, I love Habitual Line Crosser. He's fucking great.
You can get these on eBay too. I mean, about what, 42,000?
Oh, you shouldn't have told him that.
I know, right?
Are you getting an M45 now?
I mean, I mean, I'll put all the money we make from this for the next 10 years towards it. Telling me size doesn't matter. It's how you use it.
Exactly. That's exactly it. It's all about how you use it. So that's also what someone with small rockets would say.
Don't lick it.
We
See that?
Yeah, please don't lick the artifacts. Unfortunately, yeah, the motors need the brushes replaced, which that's a major overhaul on that one.
No, it's not. I'm an electrician. I know how to replace brushes.
You know what? You are more than welcome to come here, and this is one that I'd let you work on.
I think that first episode is almost 2
I love
hours
his
long.
eyes. Look at Fat Electrician's eyes when he gets told he's more than welcome to work on it. Look at this. This is the face of somebody who just got told he's allowed to play with the shiny toys.
Welcome to come here, and this is one that I'd let
Woo!
you work on.
I think that first episode is almost 2 hours long, and it is available right now over at pepperbox.tv if you want to go check it out. Other than that, thank you for watching. I gotta go.
See if he's got a post-credits thing. Sometimes he'll do that. Nope.
Does anybody else?
No post-credits. What a fantastic video. I wish I had watched it sooner. But again, I always have that where I wait for at least 2 weeks before I'll ever watch it, right? Yeah. But I recommended the first Snow White song by Chat Music. I saw, but it was just kind of one of those like, I don't know. Because it's one of those, like, music is one of those things where they'll flag it pretty fucking quick, you know? Which really just, gross. Oh my god. It's not copyrighted. Somebody's going to. I just fucking know it. I just fucking know it. It's not copyrighted yet. Give it time. Some internet retard will false DMCA it. And that's true. Yeah, and YouTube won't care. It'll automatically flag it and send it to them for review anyways. On an unrelated note, I fucking hate the EU. Well, there you go. That's pretty much what should be common sentiment around the world. No, Benny, he's specifically referring to you, like you with Omori or whatever. Holy shit, dude. The EU hates you too, so feel better, man. Yeah. Okay. That was fun to do like a little Fat Electrician break. It's been a while. Oh, that reminds me. I went to the Anarch bar. Okay. I went to the Anarch bar in the World of Darkness server. Okay. I go to the Anarch bar and I asked them, like, what would you recommend? Bartender, what would you recommend? They're like, I don't know. I'm not your tongue. Like, tell me what you want. It's like, dude, if I want to find out something new, it's always good to get a recommendation from the barman, right? Hey, barman, what would you recommend as a drink? I'll try it, see if I like it. I'm going to pay you either way. It doesn't fucking matter. If I don't like it and don't want it and you have to put it down the drain, who fucking cares? But they're like, dude, I only drink vodka. I'm not qualified. And I'm just like, fine, give me a Long Island, right? And the guy who's behind the bar with the barkeep goes, dude, this is a bar. We don't sell no fucking teas and shit. And I was just like, furrowed my brow. And it was funny. I furrowed my brow, and two other people at the bar also looked at that guy and tilted their heads and they're like, bro, you might be retarded. And I was like, do you know what a Long Island is? It's like one of the most alcoholic beverages that doesn't taste like alcohol that exists on the planet. It is the most deceptively alcoholic drink I have ever experienced in my life. It tastes like you're drinking a fucking soda. You drink that shit, and it's just like, there's no burn or anything, and it fucking hits you. It fucking hits you like a fucking truck. Because then you realize how many alcohols are in it. I want to say it was the Irish Try channel that did the Long Island, and they were like, the Irish channel that tries all the different like American foods and everything like that. So they tried the American cocktail, the Long Island, and they drank it, and they're like, that's really fucking good. And then they pulled up the list of just how much alcohol was in it. They pulled up how much alcohol was in it, and the one lady goes like, oh Jesus Christ. No, that can't be true. That can't be true. It can't have that much alcohol in it. I could sit there and drink that all day. You can't tell me there's that much alcohol in it. that can't be true. Jesus Christ. that can't be true. It's like, no, there is that much alcohol in it. It is wild how much alcohol is in that thing. For what doesn't taste like an alcoholic drink at all. It is scary. It is scary how much alcohol is in that for no burn. Oh. It is funny. It is funny. It doesn't even... It looks like a tea. Hang on a second. I need you to look at this too. It doesn't even look like an alcoholic drink either. It is the most deceptive alcoholic drink you will ever see. Okay? This is what it looks like. Does that look like it has a scary shit ton amount of fucking alcohol in it? It looks like a fucking iced tea. It looks like the most tame thing you've ever seen. It is fucking wild. Oh my god, I had one of these. I was at a Christmas party, and I had a Long Island iced tea, and I had no idea. I had no concept of how much alcohol was in this thing, right? Like, I had no concept of just how much alcohol was in this. So I drank it, and I was like, that was very fucking pleasant. I'm gonna go get another one. Not realizing already I'm tipsy, I go and I get another one. And I sit down, and I'm all happy and smiles, and I start drinking the next one. And, I already don't have much of a filter, but I do have, some decorum. But, let's just say, that decorum was fucking non-existent after the second one. Holy shit. Holy shit. That was a Christmas party to remember. Holy fuck. I didn't do anything wild, I just told the truth. which is not good at a company Christmas party. Holy shit. It was bad. It did not go well. I know, right? When you look at the ingredient list. Okay, you guys need to see the ingredient list. Hold on. When you see the ingredient list for a Long Island iced tea, and then you realize it has no alcohol burn, it is one of the most confusing things on the planet. Because you're like, how the fuck does it not have an alcohol burn? Oh. Hang on. I gotta find the one. Not the one from Food Network where they even tame it down more. There's one where it's 5 different hard liquors that are in it, okay? 5 different hard alcohols are in a Long Island iced tea, and it has no burn. It is the most, confusing thing that you will ever experience. It's just like, how How in the fuck? Who? What madman created this? What madman created this? All right, here we go. You ready? Here is one of them. This is one of them, okay? Vodka, tequila, gin, triple sec, white rum, lime juice, lemon juice, cola. And it has no fucking alcohol burn. Like what? Like what? How is that possible? How is that possible? How is that? There's a reason they tell you don't drink mixed drinks. Like, don't drink a bunch of different types of alcohol. Stick with one type of alcohol. But yeah, this is wild. No, you do use cola. Use cola in it as well. Like, that's what gives it the coloration. That's what makes it look like. That's what makes it look like tea. Is the cola. It is fucking wild. Oh, it's so funny. I genuinely like, what the shit? What the shit? Oh. Yeah, so that's a drink that'll put you on your ass real fucking fast. If you don't know about it, if you don't know what's actually in it, right? Like, that is how you lay yourself out on the floor real quick. It is incredibly yummy. That's part of the problem. Like, it's incredibly fucking yummy. It is real tasty. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and again, for me personally, I'm basically a teetotaler. That's why I didn't. I should have suspected something, right? Because I went up to the bar to get the alcohol, to get the Long Island, right? I should have suspected something. Like, you know, I just thought this was your, oh, haha, funny, here's your orange juice sort of deal, right? Because mostly I'm a teetotaler. And oh my god, that was a fucking wake up call. Holy shit. Oh man. Yeah, exactly. That actually gets used in the game Mystery of the Druids. You use pure ethanol as like a poison. Like, holy shit. Oh. Oh, well, we're starting this, eh? Fucking the messages are coming into the Gauru chat on the fucking World of Darkness server. And you can guess exactly what message it is. Of fucking course. Of fucking course. Oh no. It begins. It begins. These ones are the funniest ones, though. These ones are the funniest ones. People will send these too all the time as well. Oh my god. And Halligan is one of the worst protagonists from a point-and-click adventure. that's fucking true. Like, he has to be somebody completely without morals. My favorite part is when Mandalore Gaming points out the fact that Halligan knows that he just watched the druids butcher somebody and cut them up. He knows it's a person he's eating, and he takes a bite anyways. And then he's sitting there listening. Do you like the meal? We just carved it from that man. And he takes it and he sticks another thing in his mouth. It's like, what? Halligan? Halligan, please pay attention. Please pay the fuck attention. Jesus Christ. Halligan is 1,000,000,000% a sociopath. Holy fuck. Halligan is a complete sociopath. You cannot convince me otherwise. He is a fucking monster. Checking if there's anything else going on. Fuck. Yeah, in Mystery of the Druids, if you have a quest item, you might as well just have a death flag on you at all times. Oh. He's fucking wild. Ugh. I wonder if I can pull up that part in the Mystery of the Druids video where like Mandalore Gaming is absolutely flabbergasted that Halligan is taking another bite of the man meat. He's like, what are you doing? Oh. Actually, no. Let's keep doing World of Darkness stuff, right? So World of Darkness. Last night I actually talked to Raging Bull. Okay. For anyone that doesn't know, Raging Bull is the VTuber manager for his group. And that's the one that Kree has joined. So Kratos is part of his channel now. Part of his, not channel, his network. But I was talking with him last night, and we were just shooting the shit and everything. And I was telling him about about Cross and all that stuff. But we were talking about theories for Hunter the Parenting, right? And I brought up that, again, it depends on Spit's delirium if he'll remember anything from the bar. I hope he does. Because I believe, personally, that Fatigue was the ghoul, was one of the ghouls, okay? One of them. I believe that, again, because we know Matilda Wild is a Gauru, because we know that's a true statement, Gauru can smell ghouls and vampires and things like that. They can scent them. So, I believe Fatigue was a ghoul, okay? And Grimold is also a ghoul. So Grimmel's a ghoul, and Fatigue, it was a ghoul. which is also explains why the eye stops working for Fatigue. He becomes Gould. Now, based off what Horse said, Horse talks about the Regent knows of two. One will rise, one will fall. Grimmel rises because now it's going to be kind of forgotten, unless Big D mentions the fact that Grimmel's alive and survived taking a fucking power slam from a werewolf. But Grimmel's alive, which is a fucking miracle. We'll see if Big D notices. And Fatigue is killed. So Fatigue falls. Grimmel is still alive and still kicking. And may have gotten over the hump with this whole, like, who's the traitor thing. Again, I also believe that Matilda did not give two shits about the Hunter data. How much you want to put stock in tracing the eye lines and everything, that's up to you. But if we do trace the eye lines, she's looking at the cigarettes. She's looking at the fucking, like, good weed she was smoking all night to keep herself calm. She's not looking at the Hunter data. She also is incredibly confused when the Hunter data is found with the cigarettes. Like, she's incredibly fucking confused. Like, hold on a second. Let's show that part. I love how everyone keeps mispronouncing that word as a name. Unironically great. Makes it more memorable. Yeah, because it's fatigue, but Fatigue. Like, what a fantastic fucking name. Okay, do low. Alright. So this is when Gut is talking about, like, you know, Gut has now found the Hunter data, right? Even God mispronounced it in the episode, yes. Oh, Fatigue! What if I suddenly exploded? Alright.
The Hunter data! That could only mean...
So again, she looks completely confused. Like, this is what's happening, right? She looks completely fucking confused. Like, what? Like, what the fuck? Again, look at the way she looks at Grimmel. And Grimmel... Grimmel set her up to be killed. 100%. If you notice that when Grimmel takes the cigarettes, she puts them behind her back for some reason. Both hands behind her back before she throws it. Grimmel tried to plant the data on her. And she is confused as fuck. I don't think she gives two shits about the Hunter data. Because again, why would the Gauru care about the Hunter data? They're after information on Black Shuck. The Hunter data doesn't give them that information, right? Being here at the chapter gives them more information, gives them more of like a heads up when something comes. Remember, she has a terrible job. Like, she genuinely has a terrible fucking job. It's just, unfortunately for Grimmel, she chose the wrong person to frame. She definitely chose the wrong person to try to frame on this one. Like I said, I'm sticking to the theory that she tried to frame her. All right, that's the obvious foundational thing we're working with here, right? And she basically is here again. I think she is a Ragabosh bone gnasher or bone gnar, bone gnasher. Is it because of Ragabosh? But yeah, she's a Ragabosh. This is what I believe. She's a Ragabosh bone gnar. The gifts she uses are more associated with the bone gnars. Just they're flavored a little bit. Instead of being the termite, instead of being gift of the termite, she used it's flavored to be moths. That's fine. I think it's just a little bit of flavoring. She's definitely not a Black Spiral dancer. That wouldn't make any fucking sense. Why the fuck would the Black Spiral dancers not just kill everybody? Like, that would definitely not make any sense. But I think she's a Ragabash because those are who you would have infiltrate. You wouldn't send an Alrune to fucking infiltrate, right? Only because you want her to gnash your bone. No, it's bone gnars. I mean, if she did, I wouldn't say no. Yeah. That's why I'm like, I don't think it's an Alrune. It could be, they could say she's an Alrune for the comedy of it, but I think that would undermine the seriousness of it, right? I think that would absolutely undermine the seriousness. If they said she was an Alrune, I'd be like, why do you have an Alrune infiltrating? Especially when Alrune in particular are very susceptible to the full moon. All Gauru are susceptible to the full moon's wrath. But Alrune especially are susceptible. That, to an Alrune, the full moon is the eve of glory. And it's time to get into a fight with anything they can. Gnaw is much worse than Gnash. Well, that's why I was making the joke that she was the bone gnasher because of what Gromnash said. Ooh. It's just like, fine. Yeah, no. The reason why I think it would be great if she was a Bone Gnar and a Ragabash, one, because it fits with everything we see, but two, if Kitten's like, well, we didn't do so bad against her, and Big D could be like, one, she was clearly holding back until the end, because she could have used her gifts at any time when we were inside and just killed everybody. But two, this is what the weakest auspice of the weakest tribe of werewolves is like, and this is how much we struggled. Okay? I need you to understand, Kitten. This is what their little runts of the litter look like. Okay? This is what the runts of the litter look like. And just because we gotta do it. I feel obligated to. The transformation sequence is so fucking good. It's so fucking peak. Like, this is... In 3 minutes, I say this every time, in 3 minutes, Hunter the Parenting actually made Gauru as terrifying as they should be, unlike any other media they've been in, which is so frustrating. But this right here is so good. Grimmel is absolutely not a kinfolk. Absolutely not. Because Gauru can smell kinfolk as well. Grimmel also experiences or fakes the delirium. We'll talk about that here too. Because you don't just shake off the delirium unless you get a willpower check, which is what happens to Remold. Remold gets a willpower check because of Big D. Big D slides in and hits Remold in the side, and that gives him a willpower check, and he's able to pass it at that point. Grimmel does not get a willpower check. Everybody in the bathroom experienced delirium, in air quotes. Right? Every single person in the bathroom had delirium. So they're out of the fight. Grimmel, though, magically gets over it. I think she's faking it the entire time.
Hey! That was a phosphorus bullet! The vampire is deader than ever! The Regent herself couldn't survive such a shot! But think! Again,
that was such a good fucking clue. I still think Fatigue is 100% a ghoul. But this was a great clue for what happened. In combination with all the like scratch marks. If you watch chapter 4, you'll see scratch marks are everywhere in this fucking mansion. There are claw marks everywhere.
Expertise, those marks, this murder! This was never a vampire!
you know shit is going sideways when a supernatural thing puts out the fire. And we're starting to get into fucking Doom. Like, Doom 2016 rock music is coming up. Like, shit's getting fucked. Real bad. Yeah, Big D, who is the most overconfident, cocky piece of shit throughout all other 12 hours, I'm going to say there's 12 hours of footage, I think, that we've seen him. He's always confident, cocksure. He doesn't really have a moment of, like, true fear or anything. The fear he has the entire time through this, with exception of when he gets angry to try to save Marcus, is incredible. Like, what a fucking great character moment. To just show him, like, in pure fucking fear, to kind of highlight, yeah, you don't understand. We may fight vampires and really strong vampires all the time. Gower are on a different level. This is not a fight you want to have.
Out! Everyone out!
Oh my god. Again, the music is so fucking perfect with this, too. The music is so fucking perfect. Holy shit. And I just love that Big D, he's even struggling to speak, but watch Remold's eyes. Because Remold is fine here. He's starting to panic, but you see the delirium literally take hold of him when the transformation finishes. And there it goes. You see his eye. You can see his eyeball spinning, but Big D isn't affected by it. He's just trying to say what it is. He realizes that we kind of fucked up here. We kind of fucked up here real bad. This is not a good situation we're in. We made a big mistake. So there you go. Every single person in that room is experiencing delirium. Again, in air quotes. So how does Gremmel supposedly get over the delirium, right? Primal Terror, by the way, is a fantastic subtitle for the fact they're all going through delirium. Because let me tell you something. For anyone that doesn't know about the delirium, again, for anyone who's been here any length of time, we've talked about the delirium before, right? But the delirium is because it is an actual racial memory in all of mankind now, because the Gauru committed the Impergium, which is when the Gauru were hunting humanity to keep them like cattle. Okay? To the point where, like, humanity essentially almost got wiped out multiple times on the planet because of the Gauru. They did not like humanity. There were various reasons. The children of Gaia think that it was a horrible mistake. There's all kinds of up and downs, like different tribes, like, I think we fucked up, and so on. But because of this, because of the delirium, it fucks with human brains. The moment a human sees a Krynos form Gauru, it instantaneously triggers the racial memory built into their very DNA because of the Impergium. So I love that. Primal Terror. It's such a fucking great subtitle. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yes. Ghouls do not suffer the delirium. That's why I think she's faking it. I think she's faking it right now. Because how does she get over the delirium coming up here in a second, right? I mean, yeah, that might be where Demon Slayer got it. They might have gotten it from the Gauru of World of Darkness. But yeah, it's delirium is a hell of a thing. Unfortunately for Gut, he's experiencing the flight version of delirium. So there's actually three, technically four. We'll talk about the fourth one. There's three forms of delirium you go under: flight, fight, and freeze. When delirium triggers, the overwhelming majority will flee or they will freeze. I know I keep calling him Gut. I can't help it. I can't help it. My apologies. But most people will experience flight or freeze. The third one is called fight, which is where these are the people, the humans that are just built different, right? They are the ones that want to be the champions and protectors of the rest of the human race. Deep down, that's their genetic makeup. They are designed to be hunters. So they instead of experiencing flight where they try to run away or freeze where they lock up on the spot, they instead experience the rage, and they will they cannot stop themselves. They will charge the Gauru and start trying to beat them to death with their hands. Doesn't fucking work because Gauru are fucking strong, but that's what they do. That's what the rage does to them. So here, Grimmel is looking like she's experiencing flight. Git has flee, so Git is flight, and it feels like Henry and God damn it, I keep on calling her the emo bent because of what Git says to her. God damn it, what's her name? The other two have freeze, basically, is what it looks like. Elise, thank you. Oh my god, I keep wanting to call her the emo bent because of Git. You emo bent! Oh. Yeah. God, Delirious Panic, another great fucking subtitle. This is another great one. Oh. Yeah, exactly, the willpower checks. Big D doesn't experience the delirium, and Big D will actually give Remold another willpower check by standing next to him. So you'll see Remold will shake off the delirium, but only when Big D is there. So how does Grimmel shake off the delirium? Right? Whose blood's on the wall? It's Git's. Git's blood is on the wall. Look again. He's got a piece of fucking piping sticking out of him right now from that first impact. And again, like I said, if you believe in eye lines, go from the middle, go out through where the iris is, see where they're looking at. She's looking at the cigarettes. But that's kind of like tangential evidence. And it might be what they're going for. I think it'd be neat. But, you know, is that actually what they're going for? Debatable. Debatable. Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. To kind of put in perspective how fucking tanky and durable Gauru are. Like, remember that when she got thrown into the fucking bar by Big D, he had actually cut her entire arm off So her entire forearm and left hand and everything are gone. And then when we get to the transformation sequence, when she brings her hands up, you can already see, not only is her forearm all the way regrown again, her left hand is mostly regrown and she's got fingers starting to form out of it. That's how fucking durable Gaoru are. They are incredibly durable. And again, even while Remold is going through the delirium, he still has enough sense in his head to shoot the hunter data. He's just like, The hunter data is what it's called. It has the information on every single hunter that's in Norfolk. So, yeah. Again, I don't think the werewolves won't give a shit about the hunter data, honestly. There we go. See? Remold going through the delirium. You can see it in his eyes still. He has the delirium, which is why he's also biting his fucking lip really hard. Big D slides into his side and brings the sword up to defend him. And that gives Remold another check on his willpower. And he uses Big D's willpower. This is part of why fighting werewolves, you want to be in a group. Because you can do your willpower check based off the person with the most willpower. Because, hey, if that guy's keeping it together, I can keep it together. Big D slides in, and immediately the delirium is gone. And again, how did Grimmel shake off, so just so I'm not on the way, how did Grimmel shake off the delirium? It's very curious to me. Because Gremmel isn't anywhere near Big D or Remold. Boom. By the way, we did this before. That smear frame for just how fucking strong of an impact that was. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, exactly. Werewolves don't really give a shit about hunters because hunters are just kind of bumbling idiots to werewolves. As Big D himself says, the reason you don't fuck with werewolves is they are literally supernatural soldiers fighting a war that they barely understand, that humans barely understand. If she's a revenant, I riot. Oh boy. Yeah. That is a devastating fucking hit.
Open fire!
Again, I think the reason Kitten didn't get delirium there, a lot of people said, well, he could be using the willpower of somebody else, right? But we see that the doctor has delirium when we see her later. So the doctor is fighting with delirium right now. We know Amanda has delirium. I don't know about Occam. I don't think we ever get to really tell close enough with Occam to see his eyes during the fight. But we'll see at the end of the fight, the doctor is absolutely going through delirium. So whose willpower check are they doing on? Is it individually based, and who else is different? I believe Kitten, son-in-law, is a kinfolk. Not a Gaoru kinfolk, though that would be funny. Right? That would actually be quite amusing if he was part of the Gaoru. But I believe that he is a Bastat kinfolk instead. Because it'd be too funny, right? Here's another prediction I'm gonna make based off of Emperor text-to speech device. This one's a bit more like, you know, up in the air. One, I think Big D is a mummy. I actually think Big D is a mummy. But two, I think Big D got with a Gauru. I 100% believe that the reason Big D knows so much about this is he actually got in bed with a Gauru. I 100% believe so. And we're going to see the Lehman Russ version of one of Big D's children will be at this cairn. I think it'd be too fitting, and it'd be funny to have a rivalry between Marcus and another character, right? Do you have to be born a werewolf, or can you become one in the world? Actually, that's incorrect, Gromnash. You can become a werewolf. So, most Gauru come from the traditional mating, okay? Where a Gauru will mate with a wolf or a human, and that creates a potential for another Gauru, right? Yeah, you can do what's known as stealing the moon or a skin dancer, where you will actually have to kill werewolves and skin them and then perform the ritual to make yourself a werewolf. However, all Gauru will hate you on an almost supernatural fucking level. Right? There are very rare exceptions. Okay? There are very rare exceptions where somebody became a skin dancer and had no idea what they were doing. That does happen. Because sometimes people will bump into wolf spirits that try to give them a hand and try to help them, and because of some poorly worded exchanges between them and the wolf spirit, they become a skin dancer. But for the most part, skin dancers are universally reviled. If you become a skin dancer and you had no concept of what you were doing, you basically got tricked into it, the Gauru will be like, fine. Okay, you're not part of the sept, you're not part of the cairn, you're not getting any of the fucking treatment. We're going to have you be the infiltrator on the outside. You get to go stay in human society and fuck off and just report back to us. You have to kill them in any state. They will revert to their natural state when they die. So if Matilda here got killed, she would revert to a lupus. I guarantee she's lupus form. I would be shocked if she's a Hamid born. So she would basically, when she dies here, she would just turn into a wolf. Also, that was another thing I pointed out as a good attention to detail here.
Open fire!
Again, she doesn't care about the damage she's taking. She can soak this damage real easy. But she raises her hand to cover her eye because it doesn't matter if she can soak the damage. If one of these bullets hits her eye, it's going to blind her for a time until she regenerates it. So she steps back, she raises it to protect her eye, to make sure her eye doesn't get hit. So that way she can stay combat effective. Again, great fucking attention to detail. I really like that. And that's when she realizes, okay, that dagger is fucked. There is something strange about that dagger. Because if you notice, she takes a full-on hit from Big D. Big D barely dodges the first swipe. He slices at her leg down here. Oh, I'll move myself out of the way. And it does nothing. It doesn't even get through the fur. And that's when Big D has that moment of like, oh fuck. Like, the sword he's using is not rated to go against werewolves. But the dagger, even though it's not a silver dagger, it's been imbued with magic. Magic causes aggravated damage. So, magic, fire, and silver especially. Silver is the bane. But magic and fire cause aggravation damage. So, they can't just soak it. If he was as strong as a werewolf, it would work fine. The fact that he's even holding up in melee with a werewolf is impressive. Oh, and this is, for anybody that doesn't know, World of Darkness werewolves, they just think of normal werewolves. Already, they should already be thinking like, well, they're really fucking tough. And then this is the part where if you actually watch this video with the like live chat on the side, everybody's like, what the fuck? No. Mummies don't have to be that strong. Remember, the whole thing with mummies is that you keep your knowledge, which would explain how Big D knows all of this stuff. Because mummies, the whole point is the mummies keep their knowledge. They don't get stronger and stronger and stronger like some fucking it's not like solo leveling, right? But yeah. So he would have to, when he's alive, when he's mobile, he would have to train himself in this way. Yeah, so this, again, like I said, this is the part where anybody that thinks World of Darkness werewolves are just werewolves, if you watch the live chat reaction to the premiere on this is where everybody who had no concept of what World of Darkness werewolves are like was just like, what the fuck? A lot of people thought they're like, oh, she's a black spiral dancer because look at the thing. It's like, no, that's just the fucking, that's Gift of the Termite. Like she's rotting through the wooden walls.
Whoa. Oh, piss.
I love the fact that I also love the fact that Brock has the fight response. We already knew that Brock would be a good hunter. He's a dickhead, right? And he's dumb, but we already knew he would be a good hunter because he's just built that way. Right? I just love the fact though that his immediate response when he actually sees the Krynos form is he goes into pure fucking rage mode. So he just grabs the fucking chair. He's gonna try to beat the werewolf's ass with a fucking chair.
This is how a black law handles business.
Dunk. I just love that. Matilda just chunk. Nah, son, just sit down. Just fucking sit down. But again, because he's experiencing the delirium, the rage, like he's actually in frenzy mode. He can't stop himself. He just switches to his... He goes to the backup. He's going to the meat mittens. Nothing. Nothing. And we know how fucking strong Brock is. Brock is like an inhuman monster in strength. He just fucking meat mittens. Boom. Only makes them, if you watch carefully, the abs only move like a centimeter. It is a completely just whiffed attack. Just dunk. Like he punched a fucking brick wall. Honestly, if the Gauru in Krynos form wanted a massage, Brock would probably be pretty good at giving them a massage. Because he could actually get it to shift. How fucking good is this? Holy shit. Again, this is right here is why I say she's not a Black Spiral Dancer. There's no way. If they say she's a Black Spiral Dancer, I'm going to have so many more fucking questions. But again, she's using 3 different totems, like right here. Okay? And this is the spider, which is the communication. Right? It comes out of her fur, and it's her handler basically telling her to stop. Which again, the Black Spiral Dancers wouldn't give 2 fucking shits, right? The Black Spiral Dancers would be like, yeah, no, kill everybody. Who fucking cares? Yeah, she uses the bear totem, which gives her razor claws, which, yeah, holy fuck. That would have been interesting to see. I can't remember what the bird totem does, what she's going to do. Aren't spiders evil in World of Darkness or something? No, they're not. Spiders are just a representation of the Weaver. The Weaver in and of itself is not evil, though a lot of Gauru rightly acknowledge that the Weaver is just as big a threat as the Worm is right now. In fact, if the Weaver hadn't been driven mad and got angry at the Worm to begin with, this wouldn't have happened. Yeah, exactly. Black Spiral Dancer. Handler said stop, but if they're all dead, why would I? Yeah, the Black Spirals would have absolutely just killed everybody here without second thought. This is why I'm like, there's no way she's a Black Spiral Dancer. There's no way. Also, again, I love her face. Like, when she activates the totems and everything and she gains these buffs and she's about ready to go in. Like, watch her claws down here. So they'll shift up. I'll try to keep myself out of the way. Look at that. Look at those fucking talons. And they're all razor sharp. But also, look at that fucking slasher smile. She's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it, I'm just killing all of you. And then her handler just comes up and just like, no, don't do that. And I love her facial expression. She goes from this, like, smile of, like, I've looked forward to killing all of you for so long, into the most disappointed, disgusted look I've ever seen. Just 'cause you can don't mean you should. Leave him alive. Bring back that hunt. She's like, what? leave him alive? What? Like, what the fuck do you mean? Oh. No. Black Spiral Dancers don't technically have to be corrupted, right? Their corruption can be their mind, okay? The Black Spiral Dancers can be incredibly beautiful. That's part of the terrifying thing about it. You can't just assume that because a Gauru looks gorgeous that they're not a dancer. Right? That's where the scent comes in. The scent will always give them away. And then we talked about it before. Like, how do you make stepping sideways? How do you make that look without it seeming weird and goofy? Right? And then it was perfect here. The way they show off stepping sideways, aka reaching, is fucking incredible. And I love that smile on her face. She realizes she's going home. So she's just like, I don't have to be here anymore. I don't have to work here anymore. I don't have to put up with their bullshit anymore. I get to leave. Fuck yes. I am so ready for this. Again, this whole animation of going into the spirit wilds is fantastic.
Warrior of Gaia!
Again, this is more reasons why I believe that he is a mummy, because he knows shit like this, right? He knows specifically what the Gauru actually are. He even named it. Instead of calling it a lycanthrope or a werewolf or anything, which everybody else does, by the way, he named it a Gauru in the fight, and he also screams out that she's a warrior of Gaia. So like I said, I think, and it would be funny and fitting if Big D at some point, one of his romantic dalliances was a Gauru. 100%. I think that would be incredibly fucking fitting, because then you would get your oh great. Leader of the Space Wolves, god damn it. Lehman Russ. Oh my god, you get your Lehman Russ moment, right? Where Lehman Russ sees Magnus the Red. I think that would be funnily fitting, but it also would make sense for why Big D knows a lot of this information. Like, I guarantee, I almost feel like it's a certainty that Big D shagged a Gauru at some point. And one of his children is a Gauru. Now, here's the other thing I wanted to point out. Let's watch the doctor.
What just happened?
So look at the doctor's eyes. The doctor is experiencing delirium at this moment.
What just happened?
I'll slow it down. Yeah. So, yeah, the doctor's under the effects of delirium. Kitten is not. Occam, we don't know if Occam, because we couldn't tell beforehand, if Occam got a willpower check save or not. If he might have succeeded. But yeah, Kitten never went through it, never even had to make the save or anything. I think Kitten is a kinfolk, but I think he's a Bastat kinfolk. Not a Gauru. If he was Gauru, though, that would actually be incredibly fucking funny and ironic. It might also be why Matilda was a bit nicer to him. Because Matilda was on edge, but she was genuinely nicer to son-in-law than any of the others. Right? Like, let's see if we can get that. Let's get that part, actually. Which is the talk inside the kitchen. Let's see. It depends. I don't know if being a practitioner of solar sorcery would have made him resistant to the delirium. I don't know. I'd have to look into it more. All right. Yeah, but remember the way sorcery is. Sorcery isn't magic. I know how that sounds. Sorcery is you understand the code of the universe and how it works, right? So, like, it'd be like somebody in medieval times comes up to a door that has an ID card lock on it. the sorcerer can touch the ID card and it opens up the door, right? That's sorcery. Because you know the exact steps, you can do magic, air quotes. Because it's an exact science. It's not actually magic. Let's see. Sorcery is linear magic. Is magic that has been codified into something anyone can use without much issue. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if being a solar sorcerer would actually give you capabilities to resist delirium. I don't know for sure. So yeah, maybe, who knows? Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Even if you don't suffer from the delirium, it's the same thing like kinfolk. When kinfolk see a Gauru transform into Krynos, they don't suffer delirium, but they're still fucking nervous because, well, it's an at minimum 9-foot tall murder machine, right? That's in front of you. So it's kind of hard not to be at least a little like, It's kind of like if you ever go and go to a wolf sanctuary, right? And actually see real wolves and stuff. Like, it's hard not to be that little nervous thing in the back of your mind, like if it bites me or something like that. If it decides that it's hungry enough. You know, it's there, but you're not suffering like some fucking cosmic genetic memory to fear wolves. But you always have that, like, chance, that potential in the back of your mind.
Oh.
What?
Sorry, just fuming.
Mind fuming elsewhere. Got dishes to sort, you know. Very unsociable.
Oh god, I'm sorry. I'll find somewhere fumless.
Security room's the most ventilated room in the building. Also, I'm not in it.
Ventilated sounds nice, but I've got no clearance.
We could let you in.
But will you?
No, still your own keys. Why are you all back?
To find the ghoul?
Meant more along the lines of, why is it your problem?
I'm a hunter.
Listen, lad, you seem nice.
Oh, he is nice.
Whatever.
Look at him. It's like a soft pillow.
Whatever.
By the way, bone gnawers are also bone gnawers also have a soft spot for the overlooked in the neglected and overlooked in society, right? So that's why Matilda is more friendly towards Amanda. But did you notice, like, again, the way Matilda acts there in comparison to how she normally acts? She's genuinely, like, trying to be nice here, which is what, again, I wonder if she can smell the fact that he's a kinfolk.
Of why is it your problem?
Because it's stated in one of the things that Gauru can smell Gauru and kinfolk 100%. That's just a natural thing they can do.
I'm a hunter.
Listen, lad, you seem nice.
Oh, he is nice.
Whatever.
Look at him. It's like a soft pillow.
Whatever. Between the cocaine doctor, Remold, his pig-head son, the son's dancing monkeys.
I know.
Don't get me wrong. Pay's good.
Yeah, just not good enough.
Now we're stuck here.
On overtime.
Unpaid overtime.
My sympathies.
You don't know the half of it. Well,
Again, and I love that too, because again, now that we know that she's a werewolf, we know that she's especially like, this is so far beneath me. I hate this. I hate this so much. I hate it so much. I fucking hate it. Oh. Werewolves when they need to clean. Yeah. Again, a Ragabosh could do it. Like I said, I don't think she's an Alrune. I don't think she's a Galliard, a Theurge, or a Philodox. If she was a... I guess let's take considerations, right? If she was a Galliard, I feel like she'd be better at speaking than she is. She's not really good at speaking. She's not really, like, fanciful or artistic or anything like that, right? Also, her handwriting, pretty much, like, I'm going to say she's lupus born. But if she was a Galliard, she would be much better. She'd be much more well-spoken and everything like that. Tales, songs, and, you know, all that stuff. That's what a Galliard does. So you could have a Galliard infiltrate because they'd be pretty good at talking their way through situations. And Alrune, serious consideration, why would you send an Alrune to infiltrate? Like, honest reason. Like, why would you ever send an Alrune to go and infiltrate a place like this? It wouldn't fit. Alrunes are supposed to be like, oh, nope, send in the fucking murder machine, let's go. It's also why I can discard her comment about she should have done it the Stigways from the start, because it's a full moon right now, right? But that doesn't give them their ultimate goal. Because remember, Mishima, their ultimate goal is to get information on Black Shuck. That's why they kidnap Marcus. Because they want information on Black Shuck. Ooh. So, anyways. I don't think you would send an Alrune. I think that's too silly. Right? And her comment about she should have done it Stig's way. Stig was infamous for, like, fucking murder parties, basically. Yeah, not a rune, Alrune. Ahroun. An Alrune. So yeah, for this particular mission, it doesn't make sense. Like, I could see a Galliard, but as I said, I don't think she's Galliard. She'd be better well spoken, right? And she's not. A Philodox, again, why would you send a Philodox on a mission of judgment, right? Like, they're there to maintain the law and order of the Gauru, not like why in the fuck would you send a Philodox on an infiltration? I mean, if it's what you got, it's what you got, but it's one of those, like, that seems kind of weak. Because she has a handler, obviously. You're going to tell me that her cairn doesn't have anybody more qualified? Same thing with a Theurge. Like, you could argue she's Theurge because of the totems and everything she uses. Maybe. I don't buy it as much, because again, it's the same reason, like, you want the Theurge to stay back for the spiritual well-being and healing of your tribe. I don't know why you would send it on an infiltration mission. Ragabosh makes most sense because they're the tricksters. They're the sneaky sneaksters of the Gauru. So it makes most sense to send a Ragabosh on an infiltration mission. Oh. I don't play Gauru much, that's fair. And again, like I said, Bone-Gnars are known for, like, sticking up for the little guy. Because they are the little guys. They're the runts of the litter when it comes to the tribes of the Gauru. Bone-Gnar is actually an insult in Gauru society. Because you're not good enough to get the meat, you're left with the table scraps, aka you're left with the bones to gnaw on and get the marrow. So that makes me believe more she's a Bone-Gnar because, one, the gift of the termite she uses, and two, that she actually is, like, genuinely friendly with Amanda and everything, as much as she can be because it's a full fucking moon. Marrow is the best part, though. I mean, that's true. But it's that whole thing like you don't get the choice cuts of meat. You don't get any meat at all. You're basically eating the scraps. That's what the bone gnawer thing is. Yeah. So, I mean, they could say something wild like she's a fucking Red Talon or a Get a Fenris. That would be fucking weird. But I mean, they could. I just don't think it fits. Right? I just don't think it fits. We know she can't be a Black Fury because her handler is clearly a man. Right? And Black Furies wouldn't allow men to be like in a position of authority at all. There's no way. They are very much a female-dominated Gauru tribe. Like they are they're a matriarchy as much as you can possibly get. They keep breeding stock basically. A Red Talon who hates humans. Oh, well, yeah, I know. Red Talon infiltrating would be funny. But again, it would undermine the serious drama that they also have going on. Hunter the Parenting has been really good about adding the humor while keeping the serious drama, right? So, yeah. Yep. Let's see. It wouldn't be a Fianna. I don't know. It just doesn't fit. Fianna would be more likely to send a Galliard to begin with, or yeah, like. I just don't think it's Fianna. It doesn't fit too much because Fianna are also kind of stuck up, honestly. Like, quite honestly, the Fianna tribe is very much a bit of a stuck-up assholes. Obsessed with tradition. Not as much as the Wendigo, aka the Gale Stalkers, are. But the Wendigo / Gale Stalkers believe in different traditions, so... A Fianna would be too busy making babies and metis. Yeah, that's pretty fucking accurate. That's always the joke about the Fianna. Whenever the Fianna show up to the moot, guys, we seriously need to talk about this metis problem. And then every single other tribe, including the Black Spiral Dancers, would look at them and be like, it's you. Keep it in your fucking pants or in your sheath. Stop it. Just fucking stop it. Stop it. Get some help. But stuff like the bone gnawers and everything, most tribes don't actually care too much. It's the more hardcore tribes, like Get a Fenris and Red Talons and things like that, very much care about metis. The Fianna care about metis, but only in the it makes them look bad sense. But most tribes are like, hey, if it fucking happens, you're dumbasses. Okay? If it fucking happens, you're stupid. Just don't let it happen. And also, you don't need to fucking mate. Just find other ways to release. Just don't get caught. That's all we care about. Just don't fucking get caught. Are metis the equivalent of teen pregnancy in the Gauru Nation? No, it's much worse than that. They're the equivalent of incest babies that really look like incest babies. Right? No, it's not about Krynos form. They could both be Hamid, but if they're both Gauru and in Hamid form and they do it, it doesn't matter. It'll still make a metis. Right? That will be what it is. And metis have all kinds of problems. All kinds. And again, metis is incredibly weird because you could have two Gauru meet who have never shared a bloodline, right? You could have a Wendigo and a Silverfang meet up, and they do it, and they'll still make a metis, which is an incest baby. And it's like, there's no logical way it should be, but that's how the gifts work. When you're a Gauru, you're all technically kin. Right? It's incredibly fucking weird. Yeah, the one benefit that a Metis has is if it's fighting a Gangrel. Because Gangrel are kind of the hard counter to Gauru. They're called the Wolves of Cain for good reason. Gangrel, through advanced level power, so 6th level advanced power, so you have your 5 pips. If you go into a 6th pip, the very first thing you can get is Shape Change Mastery. Shape Change Mastery, the Gangrel can literally force the they can literally like force the Gauru or any other fairy, any of the other changing breeds into their true form. For Metis, their true form is the Krynos, so it won't work. So Shape Change Mastery will not affect a Metis. Not really, Mishima. That's how it's supposed to work. A Gauru and a Kinfolk could get together and they won't make Metis. There is a chance if you have the wild, like completely wild and unheard of thing where a Kinfolk would have actually undergone the first change, but didn't during it. Like, during the pregnancy, I mean. Like, so they're actually Gauru, but they're pregnant at the time. Is like, oh, that gets into a whole other fucking weird thing. But Gauru mating with Kinfolk is fine. Right? So, Gauru can mate with Kinfolk, and that includes Lupus or Hamid Kinfolk. They can mate with humans, and they can mate with wolves. That's how they're supposed to do. They are not supposed to mate with each other. In fact, Luna makes all Metis sterile. There was one exception, or, well, a potential exception, because we don't know if they were sterile or not, but there was what was known as the perfect Metis, where he didn't have any deformities or anything like that. He was genuinely he was all together there. He didn't have any mental problems or anything, but he gets killed. So again, we don't know if he was sterile or not. Yeah, it's 100% why they keep Kinfolk around. And it's also just useful to have Kinfolk around. But that also depends on tribes. Like, some tribes really, really hate their Kinfolk. For whatever reason. They cannot stand them. Don't they hate humans? No, they don't hate humans. Humans are just a product of the Weaver. Humans are fine. But they will also, because humans can have really good breeding stock, so you can have a human that's really well educated, really well fit and everything. They keep themselves good. They've been a soldier and stuff like that. That's prime target for Gauru. Because they want to bring that into their Gauru. They want to bring that into their Kinfolk and into other Gauru. Yeah, prime slab of meat. Ouches, ouches. Oh. Ooh. Sorry, I had to shake off the sleep there a little bit. Yep. So what, they do a lot of one-night stands? No. No. Because that's the worst. That's the worst you can potentially do. There are some that will do it because, again, every Gauru is different, right? There are exceptions, obviously, to the norm. The norm is that they will have an actual relationship because the Gauru wants to protect the child, right? And they want to make more children. So if they find a prime cut, right? If they find a prime human or even a prime wolf, they will stick to that area. They'll stick to them because they want to make more and more and more and more, right? A lot of werewolf stories, they only have them make one child, which is very fucking weird. It's the same thing that was a problem I had with Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. It's like, why does he only have one kid? Why didn't you make way more kids? What's wrong with you? Like, Gauru are supposed to make as many children as they can because it's that many more chances to make more Gauru, right? They'll mostly make kinfolk, but if you make enough children, you're more statistically likely to have more of those children turn into Gauru. That's what they want. So they're not really big on one-night stands. Again, there are exceptions that prove the rule, right? Yes. Which, because that goes back to an Impergium ruling, humans actually taste really good to Gauru. Which, that's why, like, some tribes, like the Red Talons, don't give two fucking shits. Again, following the litany to the letter is actually impossible. If you actually follow the litany to the letter, it actually makes things worse. But there are some rules that are a pretty good idea. One of them is don't eat humans. The Red Talons don't give a fuck. Holy shit. The Red Talons are like, they taste good. Fuck off. Werewolf blood is actually really potent to vampires. So if vampires can try to drain a werewolf, but good luck. Like, you need to actually be able to kill the werewolf to begin with. And then if they try to make an abomination, it's so much fucking worse. Oh my god. Because abominations can go down one of two paths. They either keep their sanity or they don't keep their sanity. Well, if we assume, by the way, making an abomination is actually very difficult because if you feed your vitae to a werewolf that you've now drained of blood, it doesn't guarantee you're not going to embrace them as a guarantee. There's a small chance they will get embraced. Now, let's assume that, hey, you won the lottery and got that small chance to embrace them. The now newly created abomination will either keep its sanity or it won't keep its sanity. In the best circumstances, it doesn't keep its sanity. Okay? Like, in the best circumstances, the abomination doesn't keep its sanity and it turns into a mindless killing machine and it just starts going to town. It starts ripping everything apart. It can't stop. It's just kill, 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 kill. The worst case scenario you have is if the abomination keeps its ego, it keeps its sanity. Because now it is a threat to both vampires and werewolves because it can use the powers of both. It can actually start using blood disciplines along with its natural capabilities as a Gauru. Very fucking dangerous. And they start losing that connection and stuff that grounds them. So they become very fucking dangerous very quickly. It all depends. It all very much depends. Some keep it a secret. Others will slowly bring them into the fold and make them a knower. Right? So you have kinfolk that are directly related and they're taken care of by most tribes. And then you have knowers, which are usually the humans that have mated with a Gauru. And they're slowly brought into the fold over time. And eventually those humans will be pulled closer and closer and closer towards the cairn. And I mean that kind of literally too, in that they'll try to keep moving them closer and closer. Like, well, hey, there's a new house over here on this side of town. It's a good neighborhood, so don't, you know. They'll try to move them closer and closer until they can bring them into the cairn itself. They aren't kinfolk or anything. They are just they're just humans, but they're knowers. And again, that's for like the prime. Those are for the prime breeding candidates, right? Those are for your like, dude is a fucking he was a soldier, he came back home, got his doctorate, and he's in great shape and everything like that. He's well read, he's incredibly intelligent. Those are the ones they'll try to like get with, and then they'll pull them away to bring them towards the cairn more and more. Again, if they're just breeding just to make more kinfolk and Gauru, they'll probably not let them know anything, and there'll just be a tragedy that happens, or they'll run off with the kids. If any werewolf ladies are reading this, I'm prime breeding stock. I wish I could say the same, but I'm working on it. At least for fitness wise, right? But yeah, any werewolves in my area, any Gauru, I'm down. Oh, I promised. I mentioned I would talk through because there's 4 states. It's flight, fight, freeze, and the last one is fuck. Which is just perfect. It's just perfect. Oh, the power washer's already turned on, and we know where this is going. Yeah. So that is one of the states they can do. Crosses. We need more crosses. Yep. No, it wouldn't be 6'5". It'd be like 9'5". 9'5" in your area. No, I guess it's, if we wanted to do Krynos. But yeah. No, Gauru can come in all sizes in their Hamid form. But for Krynos, 6'5" would absolutely be a midget. Holy shit, that would be fucking funny though. You fucking funny. I have to fight the short king of the Gauru nation. Oh, that could actually be like a funny joke. I want to see a World of Darkness version where all the races are known and you just have dating apps for them. That could be interesting. Yeah, it's like that one Scooby-Doo gif where it pans across everyone in the Mystery Machine. Everyone's horrified, and then Fred's just smiling at the end. That's my fetish. Oh. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's like I said, I don't believe for a second when they say most furries would basically have the delusion shattered on them, right? And it would ruin a fantasy. One, I don't believe that for most, but two, tetrophilia exists, right? No, there's no way. There's no way. Those would be the ones that be like, nah, I'm down. I'm fucking down. Oh. As Mishima explained it, they were together before the guy got forcefully embraced as a Nosferatu. Oh boy. No, that's not. Again, that's not all Sir Reginald. That's a subsect, right? But still, it's one of those things like, I'm sorry, humans exist. It's why it would be more unbelievable if they told us that there has never been a pairing where the person has said, "Honey, let's spice it up tonight. Switch to lupus." It's like, no, I'm sorry, humans exist. Okay? That conversation has 1,000,000,000% happened. Oh my goodness sakes. Yeah, it's just kind of a fun day to hang out with you guys, chat. This is a fun day to hang out and chat and shoot the shit. Oh my goodness. See, even the Gauru would need crosses. Alright. Ooh. Okay. Anyways, chat, I think that'll be a good place to call it for now. I enjoyed these days because I don't have to wear the headphones or anything. I can just sit back, relax, and just talk with you guys. You know, have ourselves a good old time. So I want to say, tomorrow is going to be different. Remember, tomorrow we're doing a late stream. All right, late stream by when we usually do, because I'm going to be doing Left 4 Dead 2 with Kree and Metal Commander from EFAP. Then Thursday there will be no stream, and then Friday, I don't know. We'll think of something for Friday. Saturday is the movie Bad Moon. I think it's here in another hour, Sir Reginald. So basically 1 hour from now, from when you started, 1 hour from right now is when we would start the next one. I'm pretty sure. I can double check, but yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what Kree wanted. Ugh, excuse me. Yeah, in the meantime though, chat, hopefully you all take care. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe and healthy. Get fit, get ripped. I will see you back here tomorrow, again, at a late time. And, yeah, Saturday Showtime will be Bad Moon, and we'll see how that goes. I've never seen it before, but I've heard it has one of the best practical effects werewolves there is. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Bye-bye for now, everyone.